Attention! The movie guys love movies. Any comments about Angelina Jolie playing the mistress of all evil are purely for entertainment purposes only. Isn't that right, Maleficent? Screw it.
Investigating some malfeasance.
I thought that's what that word was when I saw it in print. I thought it was malfeasant.
Why would her name be Maleficent?
Because she's into trouble. She's making trouble.
Yeah.
Isn't that what malfeasance is?
Nope.
Badness.
The Grimm
right?
brothers always nailing it on the head, I guess, right?
They're very literary.
Sleeping Beauty. I mean, there's really...
She was asleep and
Also
quite a looker.
teenager, a little creepy. Yeah, it's me. Hey, welcome to the movie Showcast, everybody, part of the vast and sprawling Movie Guys empire. This house is a fucking prison!
On planet bullshit!
In the galaxy of This Sucks Camel Dicks! You've reached ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on our show every week with jokes, rants, sketches, characters, bits, special guests, and more as we broadcast from the Admirals Club, an oasis for weary travelers. They don't stop making movies, so we don't stop making comedy shows about movies, which means you can get a new show every week. Basically, search The Movie Guys anywhere you like on the World Wide Webs, and we come right up. iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, and of course, themovieguys.net, absolutely free. And we encourage you to subscribe where you can, and if you do, still, no charge. Newly posted to themovieguys.net, you can read a review of Big Bad Wolves, an Israeli horror film that Quentin Tarantino called the best film of 2013. Have you heard of this movie?
No.
What's it called? The Big Bad
That's
Wolf?
why I listen to the Movie Guys podcast.
And go to the... we're informative and entertaining.
Yeah, I want to start listening to this podcast.
Now would be a good time.
So we have a review on there from one of our horror buff movie guys, and you can find our showcasts like the one you're listening to on comedypodcastnetwork.com, break.com, IO Comedy Network, and clips from the show on Funny or Die. And last bit of housekeeping, check us out at WBAD.net Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern and JonasMountRadio.com Thursdays at 6 Eastern. Your hosts for the hardest working podcast on the airwaves include myself, Paul Preston, here with Lee Caius and Adam Witt. Karen is not with us, as she will be off for a number of shows as she hits the stage in Northern California performing live in a musical for several weeks. To fill in this week, we have two stand-up comics and writers joining us who are doing a comedy show this week at the Nerd Melt Showroom called Part 2, The Sequel. Tony Sam... What's that?
Part 2, I'm doing this for Tony.
Please.
He was very concerned.
Feel free.
The actual title is
Yes.
Part 2, The Sequel Show.
Part 2, The Sequel Show.
See, Tony? I told you I'd handle it.
Tony, Sam, Ron Babcock are with us here, joining us.
Been handled.
Thank you for
Can you
having
hear
us.
me? I feel like I can't hear myself again.
Turn up your knob.
Turn his...
Now, have you said anything?
Hello?
Well, that would be part of the problem.
Oh, okay, there he is.
Yeah, it's operating much different.
Hey, what a treat.
For everybody.
What a delight.
Later in the show, we'll be talking to movie guy Justin Bowler, who's stopping by the Admirals Club, and we'll do a quick indie roundup. And as ever, we bring you our signature take on what's opening this weekend with our movie previews. This week, you can expect Maleficent, or no, it's 50 Cent or something.
Go, shorty. It's your birthday. We gonna
All right, whatever. It's a new movie with Angelina Jolie.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Which, by the way, those are not prosthetic cheekbones.
Have you seen the makeup on her in that film?
Those are not prosthetic. That's actually Angelina Jolie's face. You've been warned. Also this week, A Million Ways to Die in the West.
You mean a million ways to laugh? Because, Seth MacFarlane is funny.
All right, don't do that.
Get ready, I'm about to shoot a full load at your can.
All right, that's A Million Ways to Die in the West.
We're like a million billboards around L.A.
Hey.
Really pushing that one down my throat. It's like, I get it. You made a movie.
Will you go?
The creators. Not on opening weekend. I mean, there's a couple other things I want to see first, but I'll see it.
From the creators of Ted.
That's going to bring him in.
You never heard that guy do comedies.
That's true.
That's probably why.
No, you
That's
did.
not the voice
I
for
thought
it.
you did one, right?
From the makers.
If you like boogers. It's about a boy.
About a boy.
From the gang who brought you License to Drive. Dream a little dream.
Scary Movie 2.
He did do that. I
When
think.
Savannah Smiles.
Oh, my God. There's your HBO movie. Savannah Smiles.
Right? Exactly. That's what question I always ask
That
the guests. We'll get to
six-pack.
that later, but there's some movies Six-pack!
Right?
Yes, it's a movie you only know because cable ran the hell out of it.
Oh, love
With Kenny
Six-Pack.
Rogers.
Yes,
Yeah.
he drove the chicken car.
Yeah.
Which I thought was ironic because later in life he had Kenny Rogers Roasters.
Roasters.
I was wondering if that was ever
That's
a
good
tie-in.
chicken.
Yeah. What was the other one with Burt Reynolds and Lonnie Anderson?
Gator?
He drove a race car.
Stroker Ace.
Stroker Ace.
Stroker Ace.
Oh, Lonnie Anderson and
Not much of a title as much as a command.
Do you think he still loves her?
Oh, I do.
Oh,
Why not? I mean, what's he got to lose? What is he, like, pushing 80?
He already gave her all the money, right?
you never forget your first 80s bombshell, right?
Go back and watch WKRP. She is insanely hot.
It's pretty out of control.
Yeah, boobies.
We brought our Tony Sam sound effects machine.
Boobies.
Let me play a couple other things here from the Tony Sam soundboard.
Boobies. Boners.
There's literally
boners.
actually no way to shut that soundboard.
Boners.
Bonus in
Boners.
iTunes.
Bonus. Go forever.
Scott, are you carding this? All right. Well, how much is Disney trying to make you care about their new movie starring Angelina Jolie? IMDb has a countdown clock to its premiere.
Oh, come on.
That's how much. So we better talk about it, Adam.
Get ready to tie down the furniture because it's Brad's turn to watch the kids. So Angelina Jolie's back in theaters and on a scenery-only diet in Maleficent. Maladjustment.
I am.
Snowman. Abominable. 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 The abominable. 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 Abominable.
Whatever.
Now, following the recent trend of de-animating classic children's cartoons, Disney has decided to one-up Snow White and the Huntsman and Transformers by bringing one of their own cartoons to life and casting real people, or at least Angelina Jolie, to play them. And good news, her British accent is better than Madonna's.
Ooh. This is the untold story of Disney's most iconic villain from the 1959 classic Sleeping Beauty. And by iconic, we mean few remember her name, and she is often confused with Cruella de Vil or the evil queen from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
How will Sleeping Beauty be updated?
Well, for one, there's a product tie-in.
If your racing thoughts keep you awake, sleep is here on the wings of Lunesta. Lunesta helps you fall asleep and stay asleep so you can wake up feeling rested.
Christ, that sounds like her.
2, please.
Lee, is this based on a book?
Well, Paul, it is based on the story La Belle à Bois Dormant by Charles Perrault, who based that on Little Briar Rose by the Grimm brothers. Plus,
Briar Rose.
it is based on the motion picture Sleeping Beauty, with story adaptation by Erdman Penner and a screenplay by Joe Rinaldi, Winston Hilber, Bill Peet, Ted Spears, Ralph Wright, and Milt Banta.
Really?
What's
A lot of people to crack that code, huh?
Wait, so what's it based on?
So it is, I think, a book. Yes, congratulations.
We'll take it as a book. A lot of shit to go through, though.
Points!
Yeah.
Please keep score, Tony.
For that many writers.
That was
yes,
my Chris
points.
Hardwick.
That was your Chris Hardwick?
Points!
The soundboard is just over. It's overreach. It's acting on its
Well, he makes his cues. This thing's out of control tonight.
Right. No shit.
The character of maltreatment, malodorous, Melmahay is the mistress of all evil. Now, how does one get to be the mistress of all evil? I assume by having sex with all evil, while the wife of all evil is attending her book club.
But the famous mealworms or mallow cup mayonnaise villain goes full wicked, not just to inevitably bring us this movie to Broadway when Disney's Planes, the musical, has finished its run, but also to give the backstory of a famous one-note villain.
The mistress of all evil is made sympathetic when we find out that Macadamia was once a fairy whose wings were stolen from her by Sleeping Beauty's father, King Stefan.
This club has everything. Clones, freaks, sneezing, trance, stilts, throw-up music, backpacks, sea lions, Ron Wood, groups of guys with afros and graduation caps, cholos, puke people, a sheepdog that looks like Bruce Valanche.
Don't they all?
He's played by the greatest villain working today, Charlotte Copley from Elysium, who will soon play Boba Fett in Star Wars standalone movie if I have anything to do with it, and I don't.
In the end, the now heroic Miralax, Marzipan, Muscle Beach enlists the help of Awake Beauty to help stop the king, bringing together all the spirits of the woods to fight the king's army in a million-on-million epic CGI battle so big, it's like something you've seen before, but never before in this exact movie.
Mel Gibson is a movie that really should have been directed by Tim Burton. No, really, it should have been. Tim Burton was tentatively attached to direct, but when the producers wouldn't let him cast Johnny Depp in the title role as the fairy with scissor wings, he withdrew his interest.
Quick, what's the story of Sleeping Beauty? Wrong, you don't remember. And that's just what Disney is counting on, hoping you'll confuse the mythology of the Wizard of Oz with that of Sleeping Beauty. But Militant, or Missile Command, or is the story of a wicked...
Witch?
No, of wicked fairy godmother. See, that's how they get you.
Clever. Does she get her wings back? I guess we'll have to see the movie to find out. Oh, wait, it's in the trailer. She does. Not only that, Angelina does something she's never done before in a movie. Gain weight. When she turns into a dragon. So if nothing else sells you on this movie, there's dragons. And everybody loves dragons, except Christian Bale in A Reign of Fire.
What the fuck is it with you?
Well, one thing is for sure. If you're a fan of delicious villainy or dragons, then you'll love Maleficent. I got that right.
Hey, congratulations.
I said it right.
Oh, well done.
All right.
Starring Angioplasty Joan Baez, or whatever her name is. All I know is that whenever she adopts a child, an angel gets her wings. That's the cellophane. Mr. Cellophane.
Can you guys really not say it?
Do we do what?
True. Could you not say the word?
We were joking.
Malepitant? I can say malepitant.
Were you guys
Molybdenum.
Molybdenum.
Were you being
Malignant.
malfacetious?
Yeah, Maleficent.
Look at the big brain on Thesaurus Boy.
Points! That's a stretch.
But I don't understand the story because it sounds like they're trying to make her sympathetic. And if you read the backstory, she was kind of like ostracized or thrown out of her kingdom and then needs to get it back. But somehow the Sleeping Beauty is going to help bring peace, and so she's got to work with her. I think
there's the woods people.
Yes. Now it's all clear.
And Maleficent.
So am I to understand this is a new telling?
This is a new take on an old classic, Tony.
It's the new telling of a story that's never been told before.
Now, have any of you guys seen it yet?
Like Spider-Man.
No, why would we? That's not what the show's about. We do preemptive. These are previews, not reviews. So
The best part about our show is we'll talk about every movie, but we only have to see the ones we like.
Yeah.
We
just watched the trailers. Have you seen the trailer for this movie?
I haven't even seen the trailer. I've only seen the billboards, and I'm like, I don't even know what she's got horns. She's
That's why you're not
at me.
confused.
There's wings. I'm also not like a 14-year-old girl, so I'm not really interested in this shit.
Oh, I
You know?
disagree.
I think
I disagree. You are a 14-year-old.
Oh my God! Is that why I want guys to always bite my neck?
I think the movie looks sexy and exciting. I can't wait to go to the theater and see it.
Wait, that wasn't on my soundboard at all. Where the fuck did that come from? No one was supposed to say that during the show.
I think it's a sexy new telling. It looks like a feast for the eyes.
It does look
They're
like
talking
a
about
feast
this
for the
being a
eyes.
comeback for her. Did she really go anywhere? Did I?
Well,
Was she ever
because
here?
She had a surgery.
Yeah.
Oh, did she?
Remember
Yeah.
the double
Explain.
mastectomy?
Yeah, make fun
Oh,
of that.
that's right.
The preemptive.
Let's see you
double
make
mastectomy.
jokes about that.
We missed out on the...
Yeah, Paul.
She put
Make
her
your
tits
little
on her
jokes
head.
about her mastectomy, Paul.
Yeah.
Make
Let
your
me
little
look for my
jokes.
mastectomy jokes. Give me just a second. I got like 40 of them.
Are
be
you going to
fair,
mispronounce
though-
mastectomy now? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
I just don't want to
You
see
know
how many.
what? I am just done with it.
Yeah. Let's
and we
see
have
her
our
come up with that.
four-verse storm out over that.
And then I can't open the garage door and just have to stay here.
Studio door, please.
Come on,
Studio
come
door.
Still fire it up an hour later.
I'm still fired up, but I'm going to sit back down because I don't know how to work this.
Well, no, the backstory is that she has a history of cancer in her family, so she had both of her breasts removed as a preemptive strike against. So technically, she's a pre-cancer survivor, which I think we all are.
So that's
Aren't
why
we all
she took.
pre-cancer survivors?
That's why she
Definitely.
took the role.
Well, and that's why she's back now.
That's
That
why
was-
it's a comeback.
But
Yeah.
don't you have to have like a bomb and the movie that doesn't make any money and stuff like that?
That's-
And then you have your comeback, right?
No, then you go into drug addiction, then you clean up, then you have your comeback, right, Robert Downey Jr.?
She didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I know. She just didn't act
Not
for a couple
according to
years.
the press.
Like Brad didn't act for a couple
She
years too, right?
decided to raise 12. How many kids?
Africa.
A
She
lot.
decided to raise the Congo.
Is that what the point is when you're like a rich movie star? It's like you can do whatever you want. If you want to travel the world, you want to go hike something.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a movie all the
Yeah.
time.
You don't know us every
I'd be
day.
like, oh, am I back now? I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm rich as balls. Like, I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah, I want to go vacation for 3 years. That way you can write the story about how this is my comeback. It can't
Right.
be a comeback if I keep acting.
Yeah.
I'm going to go vacation.
Well, I've always thought that was interesting how you're not allowed to just not be a good actor anymore. Like, we don't expect boxers to box until they're 60. We go, that's a perishable skill. You should stop doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe you should stop acting sometime.
Yeah, I like to talk to the guy behind you about that.
Tell that to
Mark Wahlberg or
Kevin
who?
Costner or Harrison
Kevin
Ford?
Costner.
Kevin Costner.
You know what, Kev? It's time for you to walk away from the
I thought
game.
you were talking
Costner
about
is-
Harrison Ford. I was
No.
gonna
I love
say,
Harrison.
hey.
Kevin Costner's like.
He's done, right?
He's kind of my most hated actor.
Really?
Oh god.
But he doesn't really
I
act
couldn't
enough for you to
I couldn't
raise your
even get
ire.
through. I couldn't even get through Bull Durham. I had to
Come
shut
on.
it off.
Tin
Yeah.
Cup?
80s Costner?
Here's my Kevin Costner. Ready? I'm acting. Like it's like I get it.
He
Tone it down a
shouts
notch.
in every movie.
So you think he'd be the boss of like Jetson?
Listen,
That's what it sounds like there.
Kevin Costner, Tin Cup, great.
Tin Cup
is great.
That's his best work. Other
Field
than
of
that,
Dreams is great.
Dances
drafted
with Wolves.
anybody
Untouchables.
was
all
Untouchables
over
is
you.
the worst.
No, that is
Oh my
not
God.
the worst.
You're
sir.
crazy.
Oh, I will snap all your necks
No,
now
you're crazy.
and get away with it.
I'll admit it might have been better,
If
but
you get
it's pretty damn good.
just because you get loud doesn't mean you're right. Ron.
Oh, so I'm sorry, Tony Sound Effect Sam.
I'm sorry.
Talking to me about volume.
Untouchables is a quality film.
I'm actually arguing with you now through the soundboard about
Tony Sam, the RA, has arrived to settle this
I am
dispute.
sorry. It's
SFX
quiet
1.
hours. It is quiet hours.
I may not like the
and-
Untouchables, but Paul doesn't like mastectomies. And really,
I really am offended by that.
That's a good point.
I leave the house sometimes for boobs, and if you don't have them,
Let's.
I mean, what am I living for?
You're a monster, sir. You are a monster, sir.
Now let me just say one thing about Maleficent.
About
Mastectomy.
Mastectomy.
Mastectomy,
We didn't
the
do that
movie.
one.
We didn't go there.
We didn't do that one.
You were saying, Adam, one thing about it?
Looks cool. Looks good.
Discussion.
No, I think it's. I mean, this is like a classic Disney villain, right? Disney really cut their villains from some sort of movie stone. I think she's cut from the movie stone as well in terms of an
she's wearing
iconic
all
looking
black. She's
image.
very pale.
Yeah.
So
Have you seen her give that little
Yeah.
cackle in the trailer?
Now,
That little laugh?
now I'm
that's
to
the red
understand
lipstick.
that all villains are evil. Is that what I'm to
Well,
But I
understand?
think you're going to learn that
Yes.
she's not in this movie.
Yes.
Does she
Oh,
have a nice?
no. She turns
That's
into
why
a
they go
dragon.
wicked.
No, she's bad.
My question: does she have a
but she's
nice
forced
place? All villains always have very
Which
nice
is a castle.
living spaces. Villains
Layers
like don't
and/or
own
dens.
futons.
But you know how cold castles are. I mean, it's
Villains
not
are
luxury.
Very
always
drafty.
into having sex.
Them and James Bond.
That's
so
what-
anyway,
Sexual intercourse.
All right, so look, with one of the great villains in animation coming to life, Cruella de Vil in the can, and Sofia Coppola signing on to direct The Little Mermaid, we decided to see what was next at the Mouse House, and sure enough, the Hollywood Reporter has an article on just that. So
I
grab
do.
your
It
Hollywood
does?
Reporter. It
Do you-
does.
Tony, do you have the
I'm-
most current edition of the
No,
Hollywood?
I think I'm reading
Yes,
the
you do.
rap.
Oh, we all have
We all have the
different
most
ones.
current edition of the
Oh,
Hollywood
I have the
Reporter.
rap.
Here it is.
oh,
Yes,
good,
here it
good.
is.
We all have.
Oh, we're all reading the same
I have the
magazine.
Bulova watches edition.
The most current edition of
We're
the Hollywood
all
Reporter
reading
here.
the same
So-
thing.
So what are we doing here, Paul? We're looking for what? in
Well,
here?
these are
So you
other,
say there's an article in this mutual issue of.
yes. Other villain movies out there that the Disney's putting together. For example, finally, Bill Sykes, the villain from Oliver and Company.
Oh, that villain. Oh,
Like
yeah.
Ron just can't stop going on about Oliver and Company.
Oh,
We'll get
we
excited.
all
Clamoring for
remember
that one.
We all remember
Disney's
Sykes.
1988 classic comes to life in Godfather and Company. It seems Bill Sykes, the shipyard agent, mobster, loan shark from Oliver and Company, didn't start that way, and that's what Disney will show all of their fans: how mobster Bill Sykes came into power long before he would be harassing dogs and cats. It's not my fault. I'm reading the rap. I'm not reading Hollywood Reporter.
Of dogs.
He was a small timer, turns out, working at a dog shelter, practicing for his future by harassing little puppies and kittens. See, that's fascinating.
Wow.
This actually sounds more like Godfather 2 and
What a
Company, but
treat.
still.
You know, Paul, as I leave through my edition of the most recent
Do you see
Hollywood
is something
Reporter.
else? Is something else?
Yeah.
been,
Leaf through it a
It
little
looks
bit.
like
Change the fi-
oh,
yeah.
here it is.
You're not
I'm sorry.
leafing.
Yeah, no, here it is. It looks like there's a Professor Ratigan. You
Oh,
may
of
remember.
course.
Yeah, the
Of
mouse's
course.
arch enemy of the Great Mouse Detective.
Oh, yeah.
He gets his own movie in Mousetrap.
Whoa.
There's a good name.
Clever. It's all about the title. Now, in this movie, Ratigan meets and teams up with his eventual nemesis, a young Basil of Baker Street,
Oh,
who
of
was
course.
then only a petty mouse detective. Now, the two embark on their first adventure as trouble arises in a mouse paradise, the beloved dumpsters of a county fair. Tensions arise as Basil begins to suspect Ratigan as the murderer and also the thief of the last McNugget and the discarded McDonald's box. This is due out summer of 2015, so we're gonna have to wait a bit.
Whoa, I'll wait.
Not
If you
too
don't
long,
want to
though.
see
It's-
the Avengers Age of Ultron, you can
Yes.
go to this.
Something to look forward to. My summer's
Is that
booked.
a real movie?
Yes, it's in the Hollywood Reporter.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's other ones.
There's an article right there. That
Oh, mine doesn't have any.
You don't know?
Oh, here's one. Here's one.
Look closer, Tony.
Oh, I see. I wasn't looking.
You need to ruffle through the pages.
Oh, look at here. Item. Item. Disney is proud to announce they've gone into production on a character we all know and love, but don't know their full story.
God forbid.
It's Chernabog.
Oh, yes.
That
yeah.
that bat creature from Fantasia that we all know.
Yeah,
What? Oh,
exactly.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's no oh, yeah.
Finally, the
Chernabog.
tale.
I want to know what's going on
The
with
tale that
Chernabog.
needed to be told. Finally, the tale of a soul-taking bat creature of the night can be told in A Night on Park Slope. The movie features a young Chernabog as he tries to find love and happiness in modern-day Brooklyn.
Probably Brooklyn.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Sometimes things are misspelled, but you can kind of
Well-
figure out what we were writing.
Well, it is Disney.
Yeah, it's a
you're right.
library.
It could be Brooklyn.
Modern day Brooklyn.
Maybe that's what they meant.
Wow.
It is Disney. Maybe it's a world made of books.
It
Well,
takes
that's
place in
true.
a library. Yeah.
The page master might live in Brooklyn.
This is so far advanced in production that I think there's a clip that you can
no
hear,
shit.
but it's in a magazine, so I hope
Oh,
we can all
well,
hear it.
Hey, let me play the clip.
We should have rehearsed.
Chernabog just want to get a coffee at local coffee house, but now neighborhood is overpriced. Chernabog sad. Maybe Chernabog should work on indie comic. Chernabog wonder if deeper meaning coming through. Chernabog wish he could find someone special to raise dead from cemeteries at night.
Hey, can Chernabog shut the hell up?
Hey,
Some of us are trying to work over here. Jesus.
So sorry. So sorry.
I don't need to hear the inner monologue, buddy.
Sorry.
You know, this place is going to shit, this
Hey,
neighborhood.
you do you, pal. You do you.
Oh, haters gonna hate.
That sounds good.
I hope
Yeah, that actually sounds
That
good.
When's
sounds
that
pretty
coming
good.
out?
I like when that
excited.
guy gave him some shit in that Brooklyn coffee shop.
there is no
Release
no
date?
No,
The streets of Brooklyn are crazy.
Oh, here, you know what? It seems one of the characters they're adapting is the famous Horned King
Ooh, you don't
from
say.
The Black Cauldron.
Oh my God!
Oh, I love that
I
guy.
know.
The people have been
course.
clamoring for.
From one of Disney's most famous movies about Welsh mythology, The Black Cauldron, comes this new live-action tale answering the question that all fans of the movie have come to wonder: how did the zombie sorcerer / living corpse without a soul come to be?
Good question.
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
according to the treatment, the movie takes place during the Welsh Jazz Age, 430 AD, obviously.
My favorite Welsh show.
Oh my gosh. Where a young chauffeur player nicknamed King of the Horn with immense soul captures the hearts of Wales with his classy ragtime rhythm.
Oh, ragtime. Sorry,
With his classy ragtime rhythm.
I don't have it.
With his classy ragtime rhythm. There it is! But when he's killed for his instrument by dark magic of Gaul Magnus Maximus, the soulless king trades sorcery for music as the living dead.
Ooh,
Wow.
Well, that one sounds really good.
No wonder I didn't see
did.
the first one.
kind of thrilling. Yeah.
And riveting.
Oh, and check. Okay, I see one more article here. And finally, Disney has announced a project. Now, this won't be out till Christmas 2016. But it's a live-action movie telling the untold story of, perhaps one of the most well-known Disney villains, and that's the guy who shot Bambi's mom.
Oh, Doug.
Oh, the
Yeah.
hunter.
Yeah,
I know that guy.
His name is
Well,
Doug.
it turns
Good
out
guy.
turns out Bambi's mom was not the first deer the hunter had killed. The story tells how a young man who'd never touched a gun takes an abandoned fawn and raises it as his only friend. But when the deer reaches maturity and fails to return the hunter's affections, choosing instead to settle down with a buck with a giant rack. When the deer
Whoa.
turns to drugs and attacks the hunter, beating him and leaving him in a puddle of blood, the hunter turns his back on their kind and decides to kill every deer in his path until he finds the one that wronged him in Whitetail Red Death.
Wow.
No deer is safe.
Yeah, that sounds like Doug.
Hey,
Starring Cliven Bundy as the hunter.
so
well, there you
when
go.
you
Makes
said a big rack, did you mean a male deer with tits?
Well, it's a double entendre. I believe it's what the French would call a double
Or
entendre.
did it have boobs on its head?
What would those boobs sound
it's
like?
It's a theater
Tony?
of the mind. Theater of the mind. So whatever you see, whatever.
It had boobs on its head until it had a double mastectomy.
It had a double malfeasance.
Because that's hilarious.
That Buck was a pre-cancer survivor.
Yes. As we all are.
Oh, dear.
All right, now not ripping anything off that we know of is our next film of May 30th. A Million Ways
More
to Die in the
movies this
West.
week?
Yeah, it's true. They don't stop. The maker of Ted steps out from behind the bear to stand in his second live-action feature, but the first where he's live-action acting. Lee, let's talk about it. Here we go.
Movies. Never put lyrics to that.
Let's see. Fans of 2013 Oscar hosts get excited because Seth MacFarlane's back. He's in the desert, and somehow he's not dying of overexposure in A Million Ways to Die in the West.
We saw your boobs. We saw your boobs. In the movie that we saw your boobs. Meryl Streep, we saw your boobs in Silkwood. Naomi Watts in Mulholland Drive. Angelina Jolie, we saw your boobs in Gia. They made us feel excited and alive.
I thought that was great.
That is fantastic. That's such balls to do that at a real...
Yeah. Opening with Shatner? I mean,
Holy shit.
Everything he did I thought was great.
Now, how hilariously deadly was the Old West? Well, gunfights at high noon were apparently the least of your worries.
Lethal farts, falling ice, raging bulls, packs of wild dogs, and Liam Neeson were just as deadly.
Now, if you don't know Seth MacFarlane, he's the creator/everything of Family Guy, a show that everybody's seen, and American Dad, a show that's still on the air. Now, MacFarlane has recently received a little backlash when he went from beloved cult item to a wildly popular household name, thus turning off his initial fans, who MacFarlane now needs less than ever.
MacFarlane sets his saddles. Jesus Christ!
Saddles.
MacFarlane sets his saddles ablazing on the first comedy western I can recall since 1994's Bad Girls.
Bad Girls.
I don't think that was supposed to be funny, but you try and take Andy McDowell with a gun seriously. So this might be the first comedy of its kind since Three Amigos, and probably with more singing.
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile.
Smile.
Dear little buttercup.
MacFarlane's follow-up to the hilarious pot-smoking teddy bear tale Ted is a movie that's even more crude and pulls even less punches, partially because it has actual punches. The Western tells the story of Albert Stark, played by Seth MacFarlane, who has to learn the ways when he loses his girl after he turns coward in the face of a duel.
Yellow, yellow belly, where you gonna run to now?
Deep cut.
That's a real deep cut.
Unlike last week's Blended, where Adam Sandler attempted to mix slapstick with gross-out comedy for the whole family to ignore, Seth MacFarlane has no problem making this an adult comedy, from the street vendor bursts into flames start to bloody ice block crushing finish.
Now, there's no mistaking what A Million Ways to Die in the West is about, as the title contains more information about what's in the movie than any movie out today, except for maybe Godzilla.
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 They called him Godzilla. Godzilla. Disrespected my Godzilla. Can someone walk me to my car? I'm afraid of Godzilla.
I didn't really think it was that great.
He was
It
just
was horrible.
serious, that's all.
I didn't like it.
Oh, the movie you didn't like it?
I didn't think it was that good.
Wait, who's he? Ken Watanabe? Godzilla?
No, he's talking
No,
about
the movie,
Godzilla.
the whole movie.
The movie. I was like, eh.
Yeah.
But I hear people be like,
You want a lot of
if I
people.
hear someone that doesn't like this movie, I don't want to know him.
Oh, that's me.
That's true.
You really liked it?
I did like it.
He likes
I
it.
saw it twice in the weekend.
Whoa.
Actually. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
you saw
Weird,
Godzilla.
right?
Twice?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I did see
Godzilla.
You must have
Twice.
really liked
Godzilla.
Every great director has their favorite
Sorry.
actor collaborators, whether it's Martin Scorsese with De Niro or Leonardo DiCaprio or Akira Kurosawa with Toshiro Mifune.
Oh, yeah.
Here, director
God bless
Seth
you.
MacFarlane reteams with one of his favorite actors, Seth MacFarlane.
Oh,
But if
Take that, rich guy.
But if Seth MacFarlane weren't enough reason to see this, then certainly the supporting cast is, as he's backed up by Charlize Theron as a hot chick.
Neil Patrick Harris is a guy who's great in everything.
Sarah Silverman as a prostitute with a big bush.
And Giovanni Ribisi as the Virgin.
I hear his performance will have you saying, "Oh right, he's an actor."
Also included for great measure is Liam Neeson, perfectly cast as a black-hatted gunslinging outlaw, a performance which earned him the cover of, and this is true, Cowboys and Indians magazine, in a cruel historical irony, stealing the cover from Wes Studi.
I have a very specific set of skills.
I can act in movies.
Very specific. You're going to be taken. You're going to fly this plane.
Now, oddly enough, one of the ways to die. Oddly enough, one of the ways to die in the West isn't having sex. Now, I always thought that back then the smell alone would have been enough to kill you.
Well, that's because in this movie, most of the sex being had seems to be with Sarah Silverman, and that definitely won't kill you. It'll make you see God, but it won't kill you.
Spoiler alert, they don't actually show A Million Ways to Die. I smell sequel. Well played, Universal.
Hey, any film that casts Gilbert Gottfried as Abraham Lincoln can't be all bad.
That's an interesting act you have there. What do you call yourself? And they say, the aristocrats.
There you go. That's A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Is he really the Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, I believe IMDb says as much.
Really?
Yeah. There's a bunch of cameos in it. Some they're giving away in the TV trailer, which is unfortunate.
I kind of want to see it now. You guys made me want to see it.
Really?
I didn't
Well, I'm
realize
glad to
there was
hear
all that many people like in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I actually steer clear of watching trailers because they do have that tendency to tell you exactly what's going to happen in the movie.
Yep.
Like the whole Chef with Jon Favreau, like his new movie.
I haven't seen that trailer.
They've been pumping it, man. That making the waves on the old NPR. Like every other show is like an interview with a chef, Jon Favreau, which he made for only $5 million. Like they're whatever. And the whole movie's in the trailer. Like it's literally the whole thing. It's like, why do I have to watch this?
Everyone says it's a very expensive Twitter ad. Is that true?
I don't know.
I just wish that they wouldn't give away the whole thing. I know there's going to be a happy ending. You don't need to shove it in my face.
But that's the new thing. Like my buddy Mike Nichols, friend of the show, he is an editor, and he's looked at all these trailers over the years, and now, more than just get you excited to come see their movie, they'll tell you everything about it so you don't have to worry. I don't want you to worry. Your $12, well spent. Look, here's how it ends. You'll be happy. Don't sweat it. Give me your money. They're scared. They're editing from a place of like worry.
I've said this before. I don't need to know how the whole movie ends, but I am getting to the point in my movie watching career where I don't really want to worry about whether the guy's going to win or not. That's why I like Jack Reacher, because Jack Reacher starts out kicking ass. He doesn't stop kicking ass and then credits. There's no chance he's not going to win.
Yeah, Ron, tell us how much that movie sucks.
Listen, Tom Cruise is awesome. Jack Reacher is fucking amazing. I love Tom Cruise. I hate the fact that we've taken Tom Cruise down. You know why I like Tom Cruise? Because it's Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise.
Thank you.
And I will always give. It's like, hey, there's this thing on screen that's gonna happen for 2 hours. It's just Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise. I'm like, yeah, here's $14.
Hey, Ron,
I will always watch that.
I have always said, if you want Tom Cruise in your movie, you cannot do better than Tom Cruise.
He does his own stunts.
He's the Tom Cruise.
What's the new movie he's coming out with?
Edge of Tomorrow.
And so you get to see him die through a whole movie.
I'm
going to
watch the shit out of that too.
I've always wanted that.
Here's the other thing about Tom Cruise.
Soldier.
Here's the other thing about Tom Cruise. I don't care if he's full of shit. I promise you that if you spent a half hour with Tom Cruise, you would feel fucking great. And it might be all lies.
He's like
and it might
Bikram
be all-
yoga.
I don't care. You would walk away thinking, I'm best friends with Tom Cruise.
I bet you just like Bill Clinton. People say
Yes.
they don't want to not like Bill Clinton, but once you meet the man, you're like, oh, he's just
If
so
you talk to Tom
he wins
Cruise-
you over immediately.
If you talk to Tom Cruise for a half hour, that's the same thing as doing like a 12-day juice cleanse. You feel good. There's no way he's not going to have an effect on you.
Well, I feel like you wouldn't want to cross Tom Cruise.
Right.
You wouldn't leave. You wouldn't
I
want to
never-
leave. He'd be like, so, do we have a nice meeting? You're like, mm-hmm.
Did you see
I would want him to
appreciate it.
turn on me.
I appreciate intensity.
where he won me over was when he was walking the rope line or the red carpet and the guy squirted him in the face with the flour. Did you ever see this?
No, what did he
Karate chop
do?
him?
What did he do?
No. He the guy shook his
I remember
hand,
that.
and this was the joke was he was going to get Tom Cruise to shake his hand and then squirt him in the face with his squirting flour. And as soon as it
How
happened,
Scooby-Doo of him.
oh, exactly, brilliant. As soon as it happened, Tom just instantly grabbed his hand, wouldn't let go, and just very calmly talked to him and said, "Why would you do that? Do you think that's funny? I
you
come over
imagine?
here, I give you some of my time, I say hello to you, and you squirt me, and the
Why
guy
would
is
you do
just,
that? Yeah, the
just
guy-
he just
He's turning
shriveling,
to a noodle.
Yeah, he's just disappearing. Oh,
Dude, that's
So is the
Go
guy
look it
dead
up.
now?
Yes, Tom had him killed shortly there.
And then, of course,
And then he
was
Everybody
tracked
likes
down.
to make fun of Tom Cruise just because he jumped on a couch.
Yeah.
The whole he jumped on a couch. It was like, oh, he's too Tom Cruise-y.
Well, it's like, what's that one politician who started shouting?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Howard Dean.
Howard Dean.
Yeah, ruined him.
You're like, God, he can't.
It's like people don't like to see people excited.
No, you can't be.
You can roll up on a black transvestite hooker on Hollywood Boulevard, not a problem. But jump on a sofa, well, we're not too sure we want you in our movie.
Shows weakness.
Tom Cruise is the last movie star.
Yeah. I'm kind of like...
You don't think Clooney is?
Leonardo DiCaprio. Not like Clooney doesn't open movies.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Can I tell you something else that I'm a little bit tired of? You know, right behind
DiCaprio
Kevin
opens
Costner. I'm just sick and tired of George Clooney being like Gravity. It's like, oh my God, he's gonna be George Clooney in space. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, are you?
The original title.
Is there any place where you're not just charming? Like, are you all just like, man, we're in space. Oh, shit's happening.
You're right.
It's just like
he's so fucking George
tone
Clooney.
it. You're in space. Can you just like gonna be like, I'm cracking jokes, George Clooney. Oh, don't touch that. And it's like, shut the fuck up, George Clooney. We're trying to work on a space station.
Hold on a second.
Even
I
as
have
a
to.
ghost vision in the movie, he's cracking jokes.
Yeah, even as a ghost.
Spoiler alert.
He's real charming.
Charming and translucent.
George Clooney in space.
But I know if I met him, I'd be like, you're the best George Clooney.
You said Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, that guy's a dreamboat.
The thing I would say about him is he's highly dependent upon the creative team behind him. He's got Scorsese or Ridley Scott or whatever.
I'll give you that.
Director. But Tom Cruise, it's like you can't even name the directors of his movies most of the time.
Who directed Oblivion? Go.
Dude,
You give that guy a Dr. Seuss book, he turns
the Tron
into.
2 guy.
You know what would be great is if we could get Tom Cruise and
Tron
Leonardo
2
DiCaprio to switch movie roles. Wouldn't that be fun to put like Leonardo DiCaprio in like Jack Reacher, and then put Tom Cruise in like What's Eating
Titanic.
Gilbert Grape, and just see what happens.
Tom Cruise is
down
the
from that
Wolf
tree.
of Wall Street.
Oh my God, that would
My
be
head just exploded.
That would be an amazing movie.
That would be a fucking movie.
Oh,
Tom. Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
He would be an intense.
we should run Hollywood. I feel like we have this on lockdown.
We've got
lately.
pretty good ideas.
I think we got great ideas. You know who shouldn't run Hollywood? Paul.
Me? Well, you're coming around with the whole Jack Reacher thing. You stick around. That Untouchables bullshit.
His Untouchables bullshit. We're gonna fight after that.
Untouchables
Grumble,
2.
grumble,
And
grumble.
the Touchables.
The Touchables.
Ooh, I like being touched.
Tony Sam.
Oh, the Tony Sam
soundboard.
soundboard stuck.
I can't do anything about it.
Hey, Hollywood, are you listening? I do voiceovers.
I don't
And
think they
so
are.
concludes the
Nobody.
discussion.
No, they're
I don't
not.
think they're
Nope.
not. They're not listening.
Nope.
No. All right. Well, look.
So it concludes the discussion portion
Adam
of-
wanted
So,
me to,
yeah.
Adam wanted me to play this.
Oh yeah. So this is one of my favorite parody westerns. Have you guys ever heard of? Well, I don't know. I wrote you a little lead up, but Wrestler's Rapsody.
No.
With Tom Berenger. It was like 84, 85.
Friend of the show.
Tom Berenger, friend of a friend of the show. And anyway, it's a really great kind of like, it's got a tone about it that's as comedy goes, is like super mature. Like it's not really. Well, go ahead and play the clip.
Oh, it's been aged.
It's been aged. Listen to this.
I think you're out of order, Blackie.
What do you know? You're just a prostitute. Someone who sells her body to anyone with a financial wherewithal to.
All right. That'll be enough of that kind of talk.
He's like such a goody good.
This is just a warning. If you or your men draw on me, I'll shoot each man in the hand.
But he wears like all the classic singing cowboy shirts and
all
everything.
white.
He's like impeccably
Yeah.
dressed and so white and never dirty. And
awesome.
it's and he's I don't know. It's a really funny movie.
Wrestler's Rhapsody.
Wrestler's
He's
Rhapsody.
one of those guys I
It's
don't
kind of a
think I
forgotten
like
film.
him as an actor either.
Do you guys have like one of those movies where
Tom
you like,
Berenger.
but then nobody else has ever seen it?
Definitely. I mean, that's one of them. I don't know if.
Mine is The Wrong Guy with Dave Foley from Kids in the Hall.
Oh, I've never seen that. Is that
It's
where he
just-
shows his dick?
No, it's a case of mistaken identity movie. It's so if you like The Man Who Knew Too Little with Bill Murray, like you'll love The Wrong Guy. And it's one of those movies that like no one saw, but it's like I'm just like I saw it when I was a kid. I was like, this is hilarious.
It's terrific.
I totally see that.
I can't think of anything.
I'll
that's
go
too
see
buried.
it with you.
I love
9 a.m.
Yeah.
9 a.m.
What about Brain Donors? Everybody seen Brain
I've
Donors?
seen it.
Okay.
What's
That's
that
a brilliant
about?
movie.
It's basically the Marx Brothers.
But with John Turturro as Groucho and
Bob Nelson
The great Bob Nelson.
is in that.
Nelson.
and it's written by Pat
Fucking, that's my
Proft,
favorite.
who co-wrote Airplane and
Oh,
Top
wow.
Secret.
Cool.
And,
Oh, yeah.
so it's very Zucker Abrams and Zucker. In fact, I think they might have had something to do with the story too, or whatever. But
I think a lot of people have seen Dark Star. Am I right?
What's
I
that?
have seen Dark
That's
Star.
one of my favorites.
One of my favorites
little
is
scene movies.
it's called Renegade with the Tom Selleck.
Oh,
and Gene Simmons. is the-
futuristic.
Runaway?
Oh,
Renegade. Oh,
no.
Renegade.
Runaway.
Renegade.
It might be Runaway.
She's a little
No, it's
renegade.
Renegade.
Daddy's girl.
Jamie addressed this.
If there was a way we
could
could check.
Yeah, the internet will know.
But there's a line Gene Simmons keeps saying. He goes, "Careful, Ramsey. They're loaded with acid." And they're these little robot
bugs.
spiders that
Yeah.
shoot acid. He was in the whole movie. He's just like Ramsey. Like there's a clip on the internet you can find. He says Ramsey 300 times, and it's just clips of him going Ramsey, Ramsey, Ramsey.
I want someone to do that with Carl in The Walking Dead.
Carl.
Where's Carl? Carl.
They're always so intense on that show. What is it?
Runaway.
Runaway.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
World.
That's okay. We're here to figure
Can
this
we
stuff
edit
out.
that out?
Absolutely
No,
not.
we're keeping it.
We like to have the flaws in here as well. We weave it into the pattern.
Now I
Plus-
have Renegade in the Tony Sam soundboard. Listen.
Renegade.
See?
Wow.
Do it again.
What's that movie called? It's called Runaway, right?
Renegade.
Oh, it's called Runaway. No, Tony Sam.
Renegade.
Wasn't Renegade the one with the motorcycle, the TV show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lorenzo
that
Lamas.
was shot down in San Diego. I
And it was a talking motorcycle? No.
How much longer are we going to talk about shit movies?
All right, let's talk about A Million Days to Die.
You know
in the
what?
West.
There are a million ways to die in the West, but the Old West doesn't have the corner market on ways to die. As a matter of fact, there are a million ways to die, a million ways. And that's why it's time for another exciting edition of A Million Ways to Die, the game show, West Edition.
Hey.
Hey, did you hear? Hitler's been defeated. The boys in blue are coming back home.
Hey, I'm your host, Shimmer Slickington, and this is the show where we give you a horrible way to die, and you have to guess how you died a million ways. There we go. Thank you. Our contestants are a wily bunch. Let's meet them. First to my left here. Hi, sir. What's your name?
My name's Gregory.
Gregory. Oh, you don't sound like you're from around here.
Oh, no, I'm not from around here. I'm from the United Kingdom.
Oh, you're a chap, are you?
Yes.
You ever sweep a chimney?
Oh, every morning.
But good. All right, well, excellent. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, remember, we're looking for, we'll say ways to die, and then you say where you think that there are a million ways to die like that. And what is your name, sir?
Well, my name's Adam.
Adam, good to have you, Adam. Nice to have you.
Just like the Lord's first person.
Oh,
I hope you're not going to have any sinful questions in the show.
Oh, yeah, that is a very holy name, sir.
Thank
and
you very
I
much.
wish for
Thank
the
you
best
very
for you
much.
on this show.
Thank you very
I
much,
think-
Paul.
I think-
Name of one of the apostles. Thank you very
Well,
much.
I wasn't going to say anything, but yeah, it really is. Yeah, sir, welcome to the game show. What is your name?
Bertrand.
Bertrand.
Are
Also
we
another
giving
name of the
last
apostles.
names as well?
We don't have to.
Bertrand Bertleby.
All right.
The third.
Should I call you Bert?
Mr. Bertleby the third
All
will
right.
suffice.
I think I'm going to have to write that down.
You any
Mr.
relations to
Bertleby.
the Akron Bertlebees?
The
Akron, Ohio
very-
Bertlebees?
Same.
And our final contestant.
Tom Cruise. Nice to meet you.
All right, excellent. Good to have you here. Well, you sound like a fascinating bunch. Let's dive right into the game. Here's how it's played. For example, if I were to say, at the hands of a ruthless dictator, armed guerrillas, or malaria, you would say, a million ways to die in West Africa. Make sense? Okay, then let's play. Here we go.
All right.
My first question goes to Adam, the first man God ever created.
Go ahead.
Permanent body dysmorphia from holding your body in a cramped stress position for hours at a time.
Let's see. Would that be a million ways to die on Southwest?
That is correct. Congratulations. Well done, sir. Here, let's make this a party, shall
I
we?
wouldn't have gotten that. That's a good one, Adam. I wouldn't have gotten that.
Hey.
All right, here we go.
I stayed up.
Question number 2. Being torn apart by flying monkeys. This one goes to Gregory. No, I'm sorry. This one goes to Mr. Bertleby.
Mr. Bertleby the
third.
Thank
Being
you.
torn apart by flying monkeys.
A million ways to die by the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, that is correct, sir. Well done.
Nailed it. It's tough competition here.
Now we'll go over to Gregory, our gentleman chap from across the sea. Hung over a vat of lava while a giant pendulum saw slowly cuts through the rope you're dangling from.
Why, I would say that would be a million ways to die if you're Adam West.
Adam West! See what you did there? That is correct. And finally, Tom Cruise.
Yes, thank
At
you.
the hands of a man in the black pajamas.
Well, Paul, that would be a million ways to die if you're General Westmoreland.
The man in the black pajamas, dude. Worthy fucking adversary. Who's in pajamas, Walter?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
That is correct. Congratulations. All right, so
I think we're going to lose. We didn't bring sound drops.
Tom Cruise doesn't travel without him.
let's go back to Adam, not the movie guy, but the,
this
contestant on our show. Mm-hmm. Suffocated by media attention.
Oh, suffocated by media attention. Oh, would that be A Million Ways to Die if you're Kanye West?
That is correct. Congratulations. Nice work. All right, let's get some more music going here, shall we?
Oh, that's right. It is a game show.
Yeah. All right, let's go back over to Mr. Bertleby III. Hearing loss from phoning every friend and extended family member to come to your show.
Well, it's a little inside baseball, but I'm going to say A Million Ways to Die at I.O. West.
That is correct.
Oh, you mean the theater on Hollywood and Cosmo?
The same. Sign up for classes today.
Oh, I've been there.
They don't do Shakespeare, though. It's all improvised.
No Shakespeare there.
Where in England are you from?
Oh, all over, actually.
I believe they do play lits at the
Bertleby. That name is of what origin is that?
It's from
ancient
Hebrew.
Ancient Hebrew. Okay.
Ancient Hebrew.
All right.
I support ancient Hebrew.
Hey, let's go to Gregory being trampled by paparazzi outside the Ivy.
Oh, the Ivy. Fancy, fancy. I'd have to say A Million Ways to Die in West L.A.
Oh, that is correct. Nice rock. Congratulations. Is there a donkey in here? What's happening?
No, that's just my voice.
Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Driving a nice car.
Paul, unfortunately, that's A Million Ways to Die in West Detroit.
Oh, too soon. Too soon. Let's go back to Adam for our final round.
I don't get it.
Being pulled into traffic by your tiny dog and hit by a driver easily distracted by sweaty men.
Well, I've only been here a couple of days, but I've already seen this. That's A Million Days to Die in West Hollywood.
That's correct. Nice dialect, by the way. Let's go back over to Mr. Bartholomew Bertleby. Bertrand Bertleby the third.
Fool.
Getting beat to death for showing ankle or driving a car or having an opinion while female.
I don't want to answer this one.
Is it because of your strict ancient Hebrew background?
I believe it's A Million Ways to Die in the Middle East.
That's correct. We also would have taken just being female.
That's a trick question because it's not the East, not the West. Good one, Bertrand.
Let's go back to Gregory. Getting hit by another car for putting an Obama bumper sticker on your car.
Oh, that's easy. That's A Million Ways to Die in the South of America.
That's right.
Not in Brighton.
And finally, Tom Cruise, death by adopting Elijah Wood.
That would be A Million Ways to Die in the movie North.
That is true. Congratulations. That's correct. Time is up. It seems we're out of time. And once again, we have no winner. It's a crazy tie all across the board. Everyone's doing quite well with the game. So there are A Million Ways to Die on a TV set, so everyone go ahead and press your answer buttons all at the same time. Ready? And... Oh, there you go.
Oh, no.
Oh, I hurt so much.
Oh, no.
Oh, I gotta feel
My body, it's ruined.
Oh.
See,
had no ending.
See, audience, it was like a theater of the mind. You pretend you were there.
What a treat.
Tony, when you became that character, I just want to know what made you choose to pronounce the letter B more than any other letter in the alphabet?
Well, it's pretty far up in the alphabet.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it should be given its just desserts because it's right after A, and it should be pronounced more.
That's great. I love that.
Thank
I love
you.
that about you. Do you guys mind if we Tony and I have been doing this acting podcast?
I understand.
Right.
We don't have the equipment yet. Do you mind if we squeeze it in now?
We're also
Is that going to be? Are you guys going to be weird about that?
We're big fans of words.
Okay, it's a podcast where I'll do Tony and I. We just talk about improv scenes that we've done. Tony, last week we got the suggestion doctor's office.
That's right.
Then what happened?
And I remember we both came in as doctors.
Oh, okay.
It was a very bold choice. Some may say easy choice.
And a lot of people said that was a mistake, but in improv that would be a gift. And we both came in as doctors, and then we did a scene for about a half hour. So I say we just kind of do that right now so we get everybody on the same page. Okay?
We need a suggestion.
I can't follow unless I have the context of the scene.
Oh, yeah.
To know what you're talking about.
Well, we
So
don't
go
have
ahead.
any integrity. We'll do the scene again.
That's what I'm saying.
We save scenes. We usually save scenes that went really well, so we can do them again.
Well, I'll just start it off the way I did.
Okay.
But I'm a doctor.
Well, that can't be, because I'm a doctor as well.
it's pretty much that for a half hour.
Yeah, we just.
Oh, he won.
Oh.
No,
And
that means your
scene.
time's up.
Oh.
Thanks for playing Quick Wits.
Oh, wow.
That's about how that went, right?
Yeah. That would be a great show at I.O. Come and listen to someone describe great improvs they've done.
I'm telling you, man, there's nothing worse than dating someone who just started taking improv classes.
Or started doing stand-up.
Because they're like, there was this scene we did, and it's like, oh God, when is this gonna stop? I love you so much.
That sounds like torture.
Yeah. It's just, hey, I get it. I used to be super excited
I
about
know,
it too when
me
I first
too.
started. I did the same thing to other people, so it's like
Yes.
one of those things that you just gotta be
You've
like,
earned it.
Yeah, you know
You've
what?
earned it.
I did it.
Hey,
to
you
other
guys
people.
gonna go see TJ and Dave? You guys gonna go see TJ and Dave?
Have you heard of TJ and Dave? Let me describe you the scene I saw them do.
Oh, the first day I was here practically in L.A., I was walking on Santa Monica when I.O. was down there. Improv Olympic was down on Santa Monica, and I just walked up. Oh, here's where it is. There was a girl standing out front looking in the window, and she turned to me and said, "Do you go here? This place is so great."
Oh,
And I was like, wow, you
Wow.
have like just a glazed over look. It's like some sort of
She'd been given the
hypnotism.
serum.
Yeah. It's so great here. Like, all right.
But I
Okay,
do
that's
miss
great.
that. I do miss that, like just getting into improv or sketch and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
it's
where
just
it's
that,
like,
Yeah.
you're a ball of fire.
oh, you're just a ball of fire, and you're like 22, and like, yeah.
I've
yeah.
lived in Hollywood so long that I can no longer fall asleep without the sound of an improv troupe warming up outside my window.
Czechoslovakia, boom, shaboom.
Zip, zap, zap.
Zip.
And in Chicago, you would just get involved in everything. Oh, I want to meet more people. I want to know more people. I want to do everything. And you end up in like the worst shows. It never went anywhere.
What's
became anything.
what's the worst improv team name you've ever heard?
Oh God, I don't know.
We used to make them up. My
Yeah.
favorite was spaghetti and improv balls.
The first team I was on was Swiss Family Robot.
The team name that never was Chlamydia Dell'Arte.
Oh, that's God, kind of yes. great.
No one ever took me up on it.
love
They
that.
always went safer.
I suggested that because when we were coming up with Schadenfreude, I said that was a funny name that you would come
Oh,
up
no
with
shit?
called Chlamydia Dell'Arte.
Yeah, and I pitched it to
Hilarious.
Chicago Comedy Company, and
They
they
were
went
like, "Get
with
the fuck
Chicago Comedy Company. I'm like, all right.
Very corporate.
They're a whole
very-
company.
yeah.
Yeah.
From Chicago.
Yeah.
See, you get it. Chlamydia
Yeah.
Dell'Arte, you don't know who the fuck we are. I suppose.
Yeah,
there's, a point,
exactly.
there's a point in that. I guess.
Schadenfreude's good.
I like
Schadenfreude
Schadenfreude.
was-
That's
I was
actually one
on
of my
one called
favorite sketch team
Chumpo. I
names.
like Chumpo.
It was a little ahead of people using that word a lot. Like it was one of those things where you got
You
people to
brought
ask
it
you what
into
was.
the Zeitgeist.
The Zeitgeist was our backup name. It was Chlamydia Dell'Arte, Schadenfreude, and Zeitgeist.
Oh, it's like, what's the most difficult thing to spell? That's what we want.
There's an E on the end.
So let me ask you a question that we ask everyone who comes on the show. What is your
Great.
favorite movie of all time?
Whoa.
Ah.
Wow.
That's,
Hey, we don't fuck
Wow.
around.
do you have? It has to be one.
You can name two.
You can name a couple.
I know,
What's your favorite this week? Because
well,
mine will change.
one of my favorite movies ever is Flash Gordon.
Oh, that's so good.
I was just talking about
It
that
was
movie
so
the other day.
good.
Let me
And
ask
it's
you.
not.
I've actually never seen it.
It's
It's awesome.
It's really
Oh, it's
great.
so
like
good.
visually, it's one of the.
When did that
most-
come out?
81.
Oh, okay.
Or 80, I think. It might be 80.
Queen did the whole soundtrack.
That's great.
Dude, I gotta watch
I mean,
it.
it's insane, and it's super bright, like colorful.
Max von Sydow is Ming the Merciless.
Ming the Merciless.
Brian Blessed, Timothy Dalton's in there.
Timothy Dalton.
Dude, I gotta watch. That sounds great.
You remember Buck Rogers, the TV show?
Yeah.
It's like that, but better in a
Oh,
movie.
I
Yeah.
love Buck Rogers.
Now I read something that the guy who they picked to play Flash Gordon, I can't remember his name.
Sam Jones.
Sam Jones never acted before in his life. I think they just saw him. They said, "Hey, you look like the guy we want."
It's so weird. George Lazenby was cast that way. They cast people that had never acted before or weren't known actors for like the biggest things. Like, oh, you can play James Bond. I know you haven't acted before. Yeah, you can play Flash
but
Gordon.
it actually kind of works. Like his ineptness in acting.
I like that movie a lot, but I was a big Star Wars fan, so it was just
Right.
like anything. And Hollywood knew that I would do that. They were like, "We'll put out anything that looks like Star
Well,
Wars."
that's why they
Tron,
released it when
Flash,
they did.
Gordon, you'll go for it.
Dude, I just saw Tron, a screening of it downtown
the
at the
greatest.
Ace Hotel, and it is there's one scene where like the guy's like, "We're safe for now." That long of a pot, and everyone in the audience just lost their shit.
The character of Ram, that actor,
Yeah.
not a very
Oh
good
my
actor.
god.
Wait, but I want to ask one more thing about Flash Gordon real quick because when
I lost my virginity to it.
Really?
No,
that's not what I was
Boom,
going to
boom, 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 boom. Must have been so much suspense.
I would
Boom,
pound
boom,
to the
boom,
rhythm.
boom, 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 boom,
What were you
boom,
saying?
boom, boom, boom,
That
boom,
movie
boom,
is super campy, right?
Oh, very.
So
yeah,
would it be a crime to remake it? Like if you remade,
well, they would
there's
make it
plenty of
really
movies.
serious, and it would be kind of.
But wouldn't you like to see,
Oh yeah,
on the level of Terminator 2 kind of Flash Gordon?
it's not a thing to remake because
sci-fi
it's
adventure?
that's like
No?
the second version of it anyway.
Bring on the boar worms. If you've seen it, you appreciate what I just said.
There's that B again.
Thank you so much. Boar worms.
Did you know George Lucas tried to get the rights to Flash Gordon? When he couldn't get them, that's when he wrote Star Wars.
Oh.
Yeah, he wanted to make
That's
Flash
right,
Gordon
I read
because
that.
as a kid he'd been a big Flash Gordon fan.
Right. Well, then the studio saw how successful his thing was, and they're like, "Oh, now we got to make that."
was and Superman and Star Trek
and Star Chaser, Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. What was that called?
Space Hunter, Adventures
Space
in the
Hunter,
Forbidden
thank
Zone,
you.
Metal Storm, The Destruction of Jaredson, and
You're the
Treasure
Hunter
of-
from the Future.
You're the Hunter from the Future, and Treasure of the Four Crowns.
Zardoz.
and Zardoz.
Jeez, Louise.
All due remake. All due to be remade.
Remake that shit.
These guys are film guys.
Crawl like a motherfucker.
These guys really are film guys.
We should call ourselves that.
Yeah.
You guys are talkies guys, huh?
So what is your favorite?
Yeah, what's yours, Ron?
Well, I have a bunch of favorite movies, like movies that I really like and respect. I love old Hollywood, like Charade, and like I love Roman Holiday.
I just watched a bunch of those.
But I always judge things based on how many times I can rewatch them.
I was just about to say, to give you some focus, choose the movie that you can always watch.
Here's the movie I can always watch, and I actually started watching it this morning.
Oh, nice.
Because I was on Netflix and I was like, because I like to just put something on to have on like
Background,
radio,
right? Just some background.
and I was like, and then I can also like judge how quickly I'm getting things done by where they are in the movie.
Oh, that's a good
And
call.
if you're gonna ask me like what movie I can always watch and never like, I put it like this: when it comes on TBS, I can't change the channel. The Fifth Element.
Oh, nice.
I love The Fifth Element.
Now,
That
the
is a
one
good
thing
movie.
I
Future
noticed,
shit.
yeah,
She's like super attractive in it.
Very
like, it's just like
Good Bruce Willis.
Oh, it's just Bruce Willis being the best.
Fucking Gary Oldman.
Great
is
Guns.
amazing.
There's great guns in it. It's like Gary Oldman, and then also the
Puppets-
dude from
Puppets
SNL
and
who didn't even want to
animatronics.
do the
Chris
role. Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Is
Tucker, yeah.
he is he's just hilarious in it.
Right.
And
But
he's
here's the
like
thing-
out of nowhere in that movie. It's like
Now,
Here's
real
the-
quick, I need someone to rain on my little parade.
no. The one thing I noticed about The Fifth Element, and maybe you noticed this too, is
that
that
it's actual garbage.
it has no Tom Cruise in it.
It's a little Tom Cruise light.
It has almost no Tom Cruise in it.
It's
so
true.
I'm a little surprised you chose
Well, it's
that.
relatively Tom Cruise free.
Yeah,
You
which
know
is-
what though? But it has the spirit.
What's your favorite Tom Cruise
Does
movie?
have a
Tom
little
Cruise
spirit.
movie. Oh man, my favorite.
Because
Tom
my
Cruise
favorite movie
movie
of all time is the same movie I can watch all the time.
What is it?
A Few Good Men.
Oh, well, that's a great movie.
I could if that
pretty
is
Tom
on
Cruise-y.
TV. If it's on TV, I also have it on DVD. I will watch it on TV. I won't get up and put the DVD in. I will invest 3 hours of my life in that movie instead of 2 hours.
That's
Although
a tough call.
Top
Best
Gun
Tom Cruise
is
movie?
pretty.
I mean,
I'd say Top Gun.
Risky
Yes.
Business.
I've
Pretty
never
great.
been a big rewatcher on
Risky
that one. It's
Business
great.
is
Rain
awesome.
Man is great.
I'm actually,
Jack Reacher's coming up there though. Jack Reacher's getting close.
Jack
the
Reacher.
fuck?
Jack
That's-
Reacher was
That's
so
the
much fun.
Top Gun
Firm.
music.
Oh, boom.
Firm's. I probably actually I can watch the Firm all the time. Firm is just riveting.
Firm is
Paul,
great.
you don't like Fifth Element?
I don't like the comedy in it. I wish the comedy played more to my style. It just I like everything.
Fart noises?
But then when Ian Holmes starts, jar jarring it up, and when Chris Tucker, it was just too much for me. I
want you in
couldn't
all
take on it.
positions. I mean, oh my god.
I like that
Everything
weird
else I love.
opera.
Yeah,
I like
oh,
that
when she's
opera
like,
scene.
She's doing that
that's
little
such
thing.
A
That
cool
is
thing. Yeah.
and awesome. And then when he's like the guy, he's like, throw me the gun, and he throws the pool balls.
So Mila
guy's like-
Jovovich,
Yeah.
she's done Fifth Element and then nothing but Resident Evil.
Nothing but
films.
Resident
Pretty
Evil
much.
movies.
Which I always wondered, like,
and Ultraviolet.
And
like
the fourth
her-
kind.
Oh, Ultraviolet's the worst.
always wonder
movie
why,
I've
like,
ever
the worst
seen.
movie I've
never-
ever seen. I got thrown out of that movie.
That's the only movie I ever walked
Really?
out of.
Well, by the print breaking. Charlie and I were like,
right,
should
yeah,
we
yeah.
go? Should we just walk out? We were actually going to walk out in a movie. I never walk out. And then the print broke. And it was like, it threw us out and gave us our money back. We were like, yes!
Wow.
Oh, do you know what happened to me once? I was at ArcLight watching Moonrise Kingdom opening weekend, sold out crowd full of professional white people. Last 5 minutes of the movie, we're getting to the climax. Movie stops. ArcLight people come in, surrounded by LAPD, going, ladies and gentlemen, we're very sorry, but we're going to have to evacuate the theater. There's been a bomb threat next door. and telling a bunch of white people that they cannot watch the end of a Wes Anderson movie.
Oh my God.
I have never seen people lose their shit so hard.
That is
Did everyone get a
awesome.
refund?
And so, well, yeah, as we walked out, they were giving out tickets, and I was on a date with this girl, and we each got a ticket, and I went, hey, would you be weird if I went back in line? And she's like, no, not at all. And I was like, all right, you're a keeper. And I gave her my jacket, and I just kept going through the lines and got like 8 ArcLight tickets.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I was like, this is awesome.
Now, when they came in,
awesome.
and when they came in and warned you of the bomb threat next door, was it a Tyler Perry movie?
Zing! We hire professionals on this show.
He's
right
coming
there.
at you. He's coming at you. He's gonna get you. He's gonna get you.
Well played.
I love the
here's a
ArcLight
question.
though. ArcLight's the best way to go. $14, $15
It is
ticket
luxury.
weeds
No
out
way.
a lot of riffraff.
Vista.
It's
You know,
like,
that's
that's the best crowds.
trailers.
Well,
Vista has the best crowds.
best.
Does it?
Vista's-
Even better than
The Vista's crowds are great because they're like the Music Box from Chicago. If you
Oh,
remember that.
yeah.
Like that
one
sort
my
of
fun-
crowd.
It's the tickets are a little cheaper. The history's great. I mean,
Yeah.
the history of the theater is amazing.
It
and
looks
then it's
awesome
like
in there.
5 feet in between seats. The sound is impeccable.
There is a lot of leg room in
stretch,
there.
Yeah. It was built on the same site of D.W. Griffith's Babylon, where they shot it. And it was built Spanish colonial exterior, and it's all an Egyptian interior because at the time we just discovered King Tut's tomb, and so America was crazy about Egypt stuff.
Oh, wow.
So that's why the inside of that looks like what
That's
we think an
hilarious.
Egyptian tomb would look like.
Yeah.
Was it
It's
built
not
the
what an
same year
Egyptian
as
tomb.
the Egyptian theater?
It was in
No, that was built in
19.
the 20s.
I think it was 1928. Egyptian theater was built a year after Man's Chinese theater, I believe.
A lot of the
Sid
obviously
Grauman.
Egyptian.
adornments inside the Vista were from like a lot across the street, right? They just bought them all up, and
Yeah,
that's what they
a lot
filled
of
it with.
actually some of them I think are from
I never knew
D.W.
all
Griffith's
this.
Babylon.
Yeah.
Like some of the set is actually incorporated into that movie theater. I went on a tour of it once. Can you tell?
Hey, what a
That's
what
awesome.
a treat!
That's awesome. I love that theater, and now I love it more. That's when we saw Grindhouse. Was the Vista?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. The full Grindhouse presentation.
So what is? Tell me about
Yeah, so you got a show coming up.
part 2.
The
sequel
sequel show.
And for anybody listening to this will be tonight because this will be
This will air
in
out
Los
tomorrow
Angeles.
morning. We're recording it Wednesday night, but yeah.
May 29th at 9 p.m.
Explain.
Yeah,
So
at
the
the
whole
Nerdist.
the premise of the show is that comedians.
Sorry.
Right.
Your announcement felt like it deserved one of those.
Comedians pitch their sequels to their favorite movies, their versions of what they would want the sequel.
That's
to
awesome.
their
It's sort of
favorite
like what we
movies
did with Maleficent, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we also have someone come and accept a Lifetime Achievement Award, as if we present the show as it's been like an award show, like the Pitchies. So it's like the 65th annual Pitchies.
Pitchies?
Yeah. And so we come up with a bunch of fake movie posters, and we present it in their like intro video to the person accepting the award, and then they accept the award on their behalf. And then we make jokes at the top of the show like an award show, and then all the comics come out and they pitch their movie sequel. Ron is going to be doing the show tomorrow. He's got a very special entertainment portion of the show.
I'm the entertainment.
It's a classic Ron Babcock bit.
Ah,
You're going to want to see it.
Babcock.
Classic Babcock.
Classic doesn't even do it justice.
Like I'm doing the bit, and I'm like, that's classic Babcock.
Yeah, so I brought one.
And this is the Nerdist Theater, right?
It is.
In the back of Meltdown Comics, the coolest place for a theater I've ever seen.
If you're hip
It's a
to
great
LA
place to see a
comedy,
show.
you're going to want to be there.
Give us a little piece of what you got.
Yeah, I won't read the whole thing,
Hey, T-Bone,
I guess.
can you break off a little piece?
Oh, I hope you got a sweet tooth. Because, So this movie, Flight, the Denzel Washington vehicle.
Sure.
It's a fun ride through a man's addiction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's
This
hilarious.
It's about a pilot who's a
Fun
who's
ride
a drug
through a man's
addict,
addiction.
a drug addict drunk who manages to not kill everybody on a plane. He kind of rescues it despite himself, right? I wish that whole movie was about his relationship with the hot flight attendant at the beginning.
Yeah?
Because she was beautiful.
She was amazing.
She was
The
beautiful.
first thing you see in that movie is boobs and full frontal.
It's Robert Zemeckis saying, I'm fucking done with the animated bullshit.
No more Forrest Gump for you guys.
No spoiler alerts, but at the end of that movie, he goes to jail. Okay?
Okay.
He admits his guilt.
Right. You kind of got to know that to know
right.
the sequel.
That movie just kind of ends as well, right?
Now, do you
It's
think
like-
anyone turned the show off when you said spoiler alert? No.
Yeah, for Flight.
Just in general. People say spoiler alert all the time.
Film.
No one's running
No
to
one
get the
runs
thing.
to-
you
yeah.
know?
Right.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, spoiler alerts become just a thing you say to show that you know that
Yeah,
phrase, right?
So,
And I know shit. I'm about to drop knowledge.
Well, spoiler alert's a way of saying I'm about to ruin something for you. Just like when people say, "Are you cool with that?" Which means tough shit. I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
That's why right before I come, I always say
rhetorical.
spoiler alert.
I always say I'm sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Luckily, no one's around a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So he admits his guilt at the end of that
Okay,
film. He goes
yeah.
to jail. All right.
But that's
so
not where the story ended.
the story does not end.
God, thank you, David Letterman.
So I present to you a snippet of Flight 2, Invasion Earth.
Nice.
Excellent.
So after the roller coaster ride of events that occurs following the crash of...
Sorry.
right on the word crash. The crash of Southjet Flight 227 to Atlanta in the first film. Alcoholic and drug-addicted pilot Captain Whittaker, which I love that that's his name.
That is a great-
It's the funnest name for an alcoholic.
For a guy
It's
that
a full-on
almost killed a bunch
drug
of people.
addict, right?
It's a full-on.
Hey, I'm Whip Whittaker. Hey, you want to do some whippets? That's
You
where
can
he
just
got
call
the
me
name.
Whippaker for short.
You're right. They gave him the name with.
It's a full-on
Whippet.
Denzel name. He was Gray Grantham in a minute. That's his thing.
Right.
He's got crazy names.
Sentenced to prison and ready to accept his fate. Finally facing his demons, nothing could possibly shake the broken man that claimed he was finally free. Or could it? All right. 2 years have now passed since the events of the first film.
Mm-hmm.
Flight 2 begins with Whittaker on a prison phone talking with representatives from Axe Body Spray. Hoping to cash in on his bold bad boy image. I told you, I ain't want nothing to do with that stank-ass shit you call body spray. With all due respect, Mr. Captain. With all due respect, Mr. Captain. Do you see what I did? Do you see what I... That's...
It's a play on words. It's a play
We're
on
willing to
thoughts.
offer you $1 million to market a new Captain Witt scent just for you. As tempting as that is, my answer's still no.
Is that your Denzel?
Mm-hmm. $1 million won't bring back those lives.
Mm-hmm.
Every night in his cell, he relives the day of the crash over and over again. Nobody could have landed that plane like me. Nobody! He screams. shrouded in a thick blanket of sweat. All right, so I'll just read this one page, and then you'll have to come and see the show for yourself. One day, while pumping iron, because you have to pump iron in prison, he's told he has a visitor. Guards bring him to a secret room where he's met by top Pentagon officials. General Ace Murtaugh informs Whittaker that what he's about to tell him is classified. Whittaker leans in. You had my attention at hello, you son of a bitch. Murtaugh informs of the grave danger the entire planet Earth is in. Satellites initially picked up readings that indicate a large fleet of alien vessels is headed towards Earth, and a secret nuclear launch has failed to stop them. And now, the only way to stop them is to have the captain fly a 747 with nukes into the mothership, and only a man who's drunk and on drugs can do it. Now you'll have to. I won't.
So they found the perfect guy.
I won't read the rest, but essentially the tag of the film is addiction brought him there. Interstellar love kept him there. Now the only problem this addict has is aliens. So yeah, he falls in love with an alien who also has a addiction. She has a substance abuse problem.
Aw.
And
I
there's
like
sex.
Yeah, that's great. I like a movie that says something.
There's right.
It's Independence Day meets Joe versus the volcano. I like it. I like
There
it.
you go.
That's right.
A movie that does not get enough credit.
Oh, that's one of my favorite movies, Joe versus the
I can
volcano.
always watch Joe versus the volcano.
That is one I can roll over all
I
the
enjoy
time.
that film.
Yeah.
Paul, I'm glad we ended on
checking in with you, Ron.
I'm glad we ended on something that we
Yeah.
both agree on.
Brain
That's what
cloud.
feels
Wait,
good.
but while we're talking movies, let's have another rousing edition of.
What did you see this week?
Oh no, I didn't see a movie.
Well, you can be in the last.
You can
one.
lie.
The last one you saw, you can say you saw this week.
Oh,
we'll cut this part
well,
out
the
where I'm
last-
telling you we said that.
The last one I saw was Godzilla.
Oh, the last one I saw was Godzilla.
Godzilla. We talked about Godzilla.
We can talk some Godzilla.
I did. I liked the way they made Godzilla look. I liked the way he breathed.
Now here's a
his
question.
Fire.
Here's a question.
I liked all that.
Didn't look like fire.
All right, because I've
It's
had some
nuclear breath.
Well, it doesn't look like fire in the regular movies either.
Right.
Yeah, it's nuclear
breath.
Nuclear
Okay.
breath.
Now, by the way, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. That's part of the reason I liked it. And but I love when in the classic Godzilla, his back would turn blue first, and then and then he would breathe the nuclear whatever.
Yeah.
I loved the sound of the arc reacting. Like it sounded like a transformer turning on. Like but right before he breathes the fire, it goes dong, 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 and then he.
The sound in that movie was awesome.
It was.
Like just the way when the
my
when the
God.
monsters moved, I was like, man, God, the sound. Whoever did the sound design of this was amazing.
To think that none of that's happening. There's none of the sound that's
Nothing.
hearing
You know what
is practical.
I didn't care for was the son character. I didn't like him.
I think that's
He
been
wasn't
my
likable.
that was my problem with the movie is just the main dude just was like, well, you're
Right. I
you're
was
doing
like,
it.
if
Like,
it was
just-
Brian Cranston,
Yeah.
it was. I wanted him to be alive.
There's a full hour of that
Kill the
movie
kid.
without Godzilla or Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
And that's a letdown.
I think that movie started gangbusters. First 10 minutes, I thought they're mapping it out for this is going to be great.
I like that it took a while to see Godzilla. Like I enjoyed
And the other
that.
thing that kind of
I did
threw
too.
me, I didn't know how
I
to,
did
and I
too.
still don't know how I feel about it, is the sequence with the little boy, like the classic little Japanese kid with
I
a
know,
baseball
right?
cap and the red coat. He's the little boy that's in every Godzilla movie, and they plug him in for like 10 minutes and they go, "There's your little Japanese kid for a while," and then he's gone.
Well, I
You
don't
happy?
like how the Japanese kid didn't say thank you. He just went off, found his parents, and I would have went up to them and be like, yeah, I saved your kid. So
Yeah.
how about like a handshake
There was
or
a
like
giant
a hug?
lizard. I'm not dead because of this guy.
Yeah, so it's like, can you what does it cost you money to say thanks? Like, what's going on
But
here?
they kind of just wedged that in there for 10 minutes.
Glad you saved the kid who apparently doesn't have any like social skills or manners.
Let me ask you this now. At the beginning of the film, you have to watch the opening credits, otherwise you will miss what's part of the movie, right?
Mhm.
Where they tried to kill Godzilla with a nuclear weapon,
Yeah.
and now he's all of a sudden their friend? Come on, who you crapping?
I don't know these.
Hey,
necessarily
Hollywood.
here's the
friend.
thing.
Hey, Hollywood, who you crapping?
I don't think he's saving the city. I think it just happened to be that
Tony's sticking
that
it to him.
He killed the animal.
He
that
likes
was.
to eat flying giants.
I think it's
Is that it?
he doesn't like the flying giant because he's messing the cities up. You know, he's not
yeah.
really like trying
Right.
to steer around buildings.
He's not
or
exactly
anything like that.
tiptoeing through San
Oh,
Francisco.
I know I
yeah.
didn't like him because they killed another Godzilla. They were in the body of another Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. They
At the
were.
beginning, they found the
So there was a Godzilla wife. Maybe that was his wife.
baby. Godzuki. They were inside a Godzuki.
Godzuki.
They call him.
No, I think they called it.
Godzuki.
They called it Manila. I looked it up. There was the baby.
Yeah, in the cartoon it's Godzuki.
Oh,
and
right.
And in the movies it was Manila.
Manila.
Or
Manila from Manila.
Minzilla or Manila or Minya.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like Minya. That's something like
Minya.
that. Well, let's talk about because you love Godzilla, but you love X-Men too, and I know you saw it.
Yes.
Don't
Your
spoil
thoughts?
it
Yeah, I
because
didn't
I'm
see
going to
it
go
yet.
see it.
Okay,
You
no,
can't
I'm gonna
talk
go
about it.
see it.
I'm
So
leaving.
if
I gotta
you
go.
spoil it,
Hey, I
Aaron,
gotta
it's
go.
just
If you
gonna-
talk
I just
about it,
wanted to
Ron,
say
I'm
that
out of here.
you two
I
are
will
not-
go. I will not sit here and listen to this because I'm going to pay $6.50 and I want to get my movie's worth because I deserve to see it. And I'm a big fan of the X-Men. I know all the X-Men. I know Colossus. I know Wolverine. I know Storm. And I just don't want the story ruined for me because I know it's the feel-good movie of the summer. It's the feel-good movie of the summer. It's the movie we're all supposed to see. And I can tell you, I got a date I'm supposed to take to it because I want to see
So
it.
it just turns out that Mystique,
I liked it too.
Mystique was there.
That's a classic riff. That's a classic T-Bone Beacock riff.
Tony, just let it be.
You
Let
come to the
let the audience
show
understand
tonight.
that was a classic riff.
You're gonna see a lot more of that,
The perfect advertisement.
and it only costs $5. Does it cost money?
Does it cost money tomorrow night? Or tonight?
You roll a 24-sided die.
Oh, so you're a
No,
little
you don't. It's $8,
neo-futurist.
guys. It's-
Actually, that would be a really fun way to go into like some sort of nerd-themed comedy
That's
show.
like
You
the
roll it,
neo-futurist.
you get it,
Neo-futurist.
like free.
Neo-futurist.
Oh man, but that would be a cool thing to do, though. That would be a really cool thing to do. I should do that. Actually, there's a Chicago comedy group like Neo Futurist, right?
Yeah?
I wanted to name a comedy group troupe once called The Futurist. I thought that was so cool. And then I was like, well, I better Google it first to see if anyone took it. And I was like, fucking Chicago. And then
Yeah, you gotta go with obscure German names. Nobody gets to those first. So that's X-Men.
Well, then,
So anyway,
a couple days ago, we saw the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom double
Yes,
feature at the New Beverly, which is a great theater, right? The New Beverly.
Yeah, I'll talk about that.
Yeah, I mean that
how
is
was it? Was
the
it
greatest.
Well, that's
movie
my
theater
favorite
on Earth.
movie of all time, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, it's a perfect movie.
And what I said about Temple of Doom was, if I hadn't seen a movie in like 6 months, it'd be great. But unfortunately, right after Raiders, it's a huge letdown.
Yeah, that was the thing. I got there late, so I didn't, and it was packed for Raiders,
Yeah,
and
full
I
house.
couldn't get in, even though I was like halfway down the line or whatever.
Plenty of room over at Blended, by the way, at the Grove.
I love Temple of
But,
Doom. Kalima, Shakti
Well, here's the
Day.
thing. I like Temple of Doom, and when I was a kid, I honestly noticed no qualitative difference between the two movies,
Yeah.
which is
Same here.
ridiculous. That's just purely 8-year-old.
Same here.
It's
I saw
something when you get older, then you start, because I did that
You're
with
like,
Back to
what?
the Future, where I thought Back to the Future 2 was so much better than Back
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
Future. And I went to one of those things where they showed them all, and I watched one right after the other, and I was like, oh, Back to the Future is clearly the stronger film.
Yeah.
But as a kid, it was all that future shit, and I was like, hoverboards.
Mhm.
So as a kid, it's like, I used to love both
I
of them.
saw Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 6 nights in a row. You know, and I look back at it as like,
Wow.
Wow.
what a cheesy movie.
What a
but
jerk.
Back then, I was like, oh, exactly.
But being late for Raiders was perfect because that is a terrible double feature. Like most things are great. Like for example, I watched X-Men movies all week before I went to go see Days of Future Past.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's a great quintuple feature.
Is there a
sextuple
tie-in?
feature?
Are they all tied together?
Turns out there's a lot of references, a lot of characters. Kind of
I should watch all
Because
those.
the third one, doesn't everybody die?
Yes, but this one they go back in time, so those people are all alive.
Oh, like Cyclops.
Yes,
Yeah.
Tony, that is a character from that movie.
He has vision with a laser eye.
Oh, God.
I've
Here we
heard,
go again.
I've heard this.
He'll do this for
sullied
hours.
about.
Are you? So you mean bandied about?
No, he meant
Might
sullied
I correct
about.
your old fart talk?
Is this sullied? What's sullied? Bandied?
You are sullying Cyclops' name as you bandy it about. That's the proper.
all
Here's
right.
one thing that happened in line waiting to see Raiders. I saw my friend Andy and a couple other people, and I said, now, Thursday, and this is true, but don't go see it. Go to this show. They're doing at the Egyptian, the trilogy, the Indiana Jones trilogy.
Oh, I got to cancel my spot on the show tonight.
Me too. I'm out.
And
Can you guys guest host?
And everyone went, oh, the trilogy, the trilogy. And then went and I saw my friend Mike in the theater, and I told him they're doing that. They're like, oh, the trilogy. And it was great. All those conversations with all those people, no one went, hey, there are 4 movies. We've all officially washed that movie
That
out
is
of
hilarious.
the culture, and
That
hopefully
is hilarious.
so.
Yeah,
Because there was not a
if
4th.
you're going to show all of them, you show all 3.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, it's funny though. I'm such a New Beverly fan that I'm going to go to your show tomorrow night. How long is it, by the way?
Oh, you're in and out in no more than
Because
1
they're doing
hour
a
and
Pam
30
Grier
minutes.
double feature.
What are they doing?
I'd love to. They're doing a Pam Grier double feature in New
Oh.
Beverly. I'd love to make it to the second one.
You guys, you ever go to the
My
outdoor
priority
screenings?
is local comedy. Huh?
Did you ever go to the outdoor screenings at Cinespia?
Oh yeah, I've been to a few of
There
those.
are bunches of them.
I went
Yeah.
to one in the
Hollywood Forever
Hollywood
Cemetery.
Forever
I just went.
Cemetery.
I saw National Lampoon's Vacation, and I went and saw Jaws.
Sweet.
And you know,
Oh,
what?
they just had the
Where'd they
yeah,
show
so-
Jaws?
Jaws was at the Hollywood Forever
Oh,
Cemetery,
God,
and
I
it's
wanna
a
go.
it's a
Were
fun
you-
place to go.
Were
You
you
just
scared all over again?
well, here's the thing. I was like, I've seen Jaws, and then I realized that I have not seen the first half of Jaws. And then I was like watching. I'm like, I've never seen
That
this
first
part of
scene
it.
is
it's
real
and it's. I'm like,
creepy.
this is amazing. Like it's a. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
like it's
He,
such a good movie.
He went, he came out.
what?
What's the
A what?
author of?
Peter Benchley.
He said he was sorry that he'd made that film because of what it did with people and making them afraid of sharks.
Mm-hmm.
And if he could go back, he wouldn't. He probably wouldn't.
I mean, that movie
he would too have
literally
written it. He made
terrified
so much money.
the country.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what that
Yeah.
movie did.
I mean,
Right.
it's just like can you think of any other movie that had that much impact? You know, like I'm trying to think of
Keeps
one.
you from doing things.
that are.
Jerry
mean,
Lewis's
no,
Funny Times.
That's the one.
The Beach.
With
Kept people
Leonardo
from the beach.
With your Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's,
What's
I
up
mean-
with-
Piranha 3 Double D.
The deal is J.J. Abrams did a TED
That
talk.
was a booby joke for Tony.
Booby!
J.J. Abrams did a TED Talk, and he said, talking about the first half of Jaws, there's a scene where Roy Scheider's character is just like lost. He doesn't know what to do. There's all these bites and attacks and stuff. He's kind of doesn't know what to do. He's sitting at home, and he kind of folds his hands, puts his head in his hands, and his kid sees him do it and mirrors him.
Yeah. Oh, I love
and
that
they had that
scene.
little mirror scene. And J.J. Abrams said, that's the scene you need to copy. When Jaws came out, people said Attack of the Piranhas, Attack of the Alligator, Attack of the Birds, whatever. And they said, no, that's what everyone copied, was the idea of animals attacking. Now, that's the scene you want to copy if you're making a movie that's going to be like Jaws.
Because it's so like human. Like it was such a nice moment between a father and a son, and it made that character so like, oh god, this guy's got the world on his shoulders.
I was under the understanding that was a documentary.
No.
I read, go to IMDb.
About a shark.
It's not.
It's about a shark who just doesn't like this policeman.
Wikipedia it. No, it is about a shark that has a vendetta against the police. He hates the cops.
And then subsequent films are relatives of that shark. They try to exact revenge.
That sounds like
against.
absurd Tony talk, but that's true. they actually say that in some of those movies. Like, this is the son or the cousin or whatever.
But speaking of that moment of the dinner table, there's another moment in that movie that just tickles me. It's where Roy Scheider's
the sex scene.
It makes me laugh every time because it makes you laugh so much.
He's in the shop and he's getting paintbrushes and cans and things ready for the shop to paint the sign, and his deputy is outside through the window, and Roy Scheider's trying to get his attention, so he throws something at the window, and the guy turns and just waves. He's like, hey.
It's that dopey deputy he has.
Everybody,
no, get in here! There's an attack. Oh,
everybody died when that was shown. That hit pretty hard.
That's another great human moment of that movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Quentin Tarantino said that once in an interview, I think on Charlie Rose. He said,
okay, Adam, you watch Charlie Rose. Onward, please.
He said if you put a microphone in the crowd, you would swear Jaws is a comedy. And he said the same thing with Pulp Fiction, even though they're not comedies. But if you put a microphone in the audience for Jaws, you'd swear that's a comedy. It's a funny movie. You know?
Well, because all good movies have funny points that maybe they're not intentionally like. Maybe they weren't
fun. It's
also to break up the.
I was going to say
tension.
there's a lot of that going on in Jaws. I think.
I was watching the movie and I noticed I kept like my hands were rubbing against my legs back and forth, especially like during all the like riveting moments. And I was like, it's like I know what fucking happens, and I still was so unbelievably tense when I was watching it.
That's great.
And and every other movie that came in Jaws' wake that tried to be a scary movie like that fails to have the great scenes they have on the Orca, on the ship. Mm-hmm. The story about what's the Constitution? Is that the ship that went down?
No. Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. Yeah. And all those great moments too. I mean, just any other movie would just breeze through all that to get to the next special effect.
They actually, because that scene was so powerful, they wanted to do a movie. I think Spielberg had optioned the rights to make the movie about
the
that,
Indianapolis,
and then they never did.
Yeah,
that would be a great movie.
That'd be a creepy movie.
Sharks
and I'd rather they make that than remake Jaws.
1,000 men go in.
It's funny you say like all these people who imitated Jaws. Godzilla. It's funny you say all these people that imitated Jaws, because the imitators of Jaws were all like Roger Corman and Enzio Castellari and all these like schlock filmmakers who just made these like rip-off. Or who made Alligator?
I don't even know.
I think John Sayles made Alligator.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
He wrote it. He wrote Piranha, I think, also as well.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
Cameron came along too and did the second one.
Yeah,
I liked Alligator.
I loved Alligator as a kid. Yeah.
They flush it.
That's got the Jackie Brown dude in it. What's his name? Max Cherry?
Robert Forster?
Robert Forster.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, listen, I got to wrap things up here in a second, but let's go to a conversation I had with movie guy Justin Bowler earlier today. We chat about a big project he has coming up and talk some independent film, because, again, all the indies can get lost in the summer movies.
He would have been here tonight, but he doesn't like you guys.
Yeah, that's true. He won't say that in the segment we're going to show.
But you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, you can see it.
Wow, I don't like that.
So we will go away, but be back here in. We're going to go away for 10 seconds, and then we'll be the Justin thing, and then after that, we'll come back here for one more second. Here we go. Indie Gangnam Style, brought to you by Justin Bowler, everybody. Hey, what's this? The Indiana Jones theme? Yes.
Woo!
When you think indie and you think themovieguys.net, you think of our next segment here involving Justin Bowler, who was our indie film reviewer for themovieguys.net.
That's right.
So I wanted to have him on and talk some independent films and all that kind of stuff. And why don't you lead, actually, with a project you're involved in right now?
Yeah. There are a couple projects I'm involved with, but specifically, I am helping out a theater company, and I got involved with this, and they're a stage theater company. I got involved with them because they were doing a series of short films. As a theater company, they have a small area where they are putting money into so they could make short films with all of their theater company members. It's a great idea, and they're working on that.
It is, and I'll tell you why that's a great idea. I don't belong to a theater company.
Right.
But if I did, I would want to make sure I'm in enough projects.
Yeah.
And you can only do so many plays.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad they're doing that to expand out to the whole company.
Absolutely, and on top of that,
and they better all be getting involved.
They are.
All right, or smack them.
No, I mean, there was
pay your dues
step
and
one.
do nothing. Right?
I guess that's one of the things about being in a theater company. You know, you bring in people who write, you bring in people who direct, you bring in people that act. So you get a community, and then you say, hey, what if we were to all change formats from this to this? We all know what we want to do, but can we move over a little bit? And we're in Hollywood. Let's start making these things. And so they started doing that. It was very impressive, in all honesty.
And the company? Did you say the company?
No, it's the Eclectic Company Theatre.
See, now I keep wanting to call it the Eclectic Theater Company.
Most people do.
Now, why is that?
I think there is an eclectic theater company
I see.
somewhere, and they stole it. Like, I think there's something big, like, I don't know, New Hampshire.
I see.
Big theater place, New Hampshire.
Right. Like if I wanted to call myself, the Roundabout Company Theater, I wouldn't be infringing on this New York business at all.
No, not at all. Or the Chicago people, right, exactly.
Right. I'm Center Group Theater, Los Angeles.
Right.
Not infringing on anybody.
Right. I'm the Academy of Royal Shakespeare Company.
So what can we expect then from this whole
them
endeavor?
They're making a series of short films, and they're doing a fantastic job, and they're awesome. That's how I originally came aboard, and I really liked the group of people. So I became a member of this theater company, and now. As a part of this, they are branching out even more. I mean, obviously, they do stuff for the stage anyway, and now I'm trying to step aboard and help them. They have an Indiegogo campaign going on right now, and this is a theater company that's been around for like 25 years. They're all about helping the community, doing all sorts of things like that. And this was just one more project that they said, hey, let's do something. It's all local artists that we're going to put on their stuff, and obviously, we're using local actors because they don't have enough money in their Indiegogo campaign to fly people out from New York.
Right.
Obviously, but it's all located right here.
Screw those guys in New York. Anyway.
Yeah, come on.
except for the listeners of this show.
And the Roundabout Theater Company. Those guys are great.
Right. Yeah, well, they're okay. Roundabout Company Theater, now that's a whole different thing.
Exactly. So they have an Indiegogo campaign, and I'm trying to help them out. I'm one of the people that's producing on it. And the incentives, this is what sets this different. One, it goes towards a good cause because they are a nonprofit theater. Two, the incentives that they have are all sorts of crazy stuff. And I mean, it starts with something simple where if you just wanted your name to be mentioned in a program or have your name toasted by the actors when they go drinking after rehearsal, that's one thing. But up to
all right.
I literally
Tom
Tom
James in we speak your name, and then on the next guy.
Absolutely. So
just an excuse to drink more.
They really do that, and actors drink a lot. I don't know if you spend a lot of time with actors.
If you learn nothing from this segment, please support the drinking habits of actors in Los Angeles by supporting the Eclectic Company Theatre.
The indie campaign won't go to paying for the drinks for the actors.
Oh, of course not.
It will go to telling them to toast to people
giving them a
afterwards.
reason to drink. Right.
Right. Stuff from that all the way.
As if a life in theater isn't enough to drink. Right. Reason to drink.
There's another one where it's literally a walk-on. You get to walk on.
Oh, cool.
You get to be on stage atmosphere while something else is going on. To also having a role in it. I know in one of them specifically, you have a major role and you are on stage for the entire one act as a character, as a pivotal character. No acting skills required. Mm-hmm. We can actually do this. And then there are a few other things. It's like where you get it with, you have lines in it. And all of these, because we have this great company that we're working with, they are donating as many DVDs as we need. So literally for something as simple as $25, you get 2 DVDs from a 10,000 DVD library. So name a movie, and they've probably got it. We don't have all of them. We don't have a lot of the new releases, but we've got a ton of classics and a ton of things that you love.
I should explain to movie guys. a one-act play is like a 3D short film.
Yeah.
There you go.
Precisely. It's a short film and it takes place live on stage. The actors are right there.
You know how you reach out for in the movie? Don't do that in the play.
Right.
You touch an actor.
Right. If when they are speaking, if they have a really long monologue, they may spit. It could hit you if you're in the front row. So that's a hook, huh?
And how much is that? What do you got to donate for that?
That's actually just the price of a ticket.
That's for free. Yeah, you buy a
price of a ticket. But anyway, if you go to their Indiegogo campaign, if you were to go to Indiegogo.com and then search search Eclect-a-Fest.
Oh.
I know. We made it nice and easy to find, people. Trust me. Search Eclect-a-Fest.
Not to be confused with Eclecto, Spider-Man villain.
Right.
That's totally different.
Eclectafest. Eclect-a-Fest. It's one of the first or second things to pop up. I would say just the Eclectic Theater, but if you search Eclectic Theater, you know who you're going to get?
Those fat bastards in New Hampshire.
The New Hampshire guys. We don't want to help them. They're trying to change theaters. No, don't help them. Help us out. They can worry about their local people.
So everybody from the how many company members are there?
I believe there are 45, something like that. Yeah, it's a great, and it's not just, it's writers, directors, actors, producers as well,
and they'll all get involved in this.
They're all a part of
variety
this.
of stuff.
Yeah, and like I said, they are great. They've been around for 25 years. They have a whole thing that they do for kids. Lots of charitable stuff.
Now, full disclosure, they've made short films.
They have made short films,
and I have worked in post on one of those.
Fantastic.
So they're doing. Those are some bizarre films.
Well,
kind of cool. They wanted to go, really. What's the word? What am I looking for? Not independent.
Esoteric?
Esoteric is the word. That's the word.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, theater people tend to think outside the box. So when you give them the opportunity to transfer their idea to a different medium, you get something different than what you're used to.
But it was all shorts based on dreams, correct? And these will be rolled out slowly too. So there's a lot going on over there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And besides all that, a full slate of just plays that are generally
absolutely
main stage productions.
Shakespeare and musicals and all that good stuff that people normally do. This is just a nice, fun side project, once again, to kind of get the community involved, bring people together. You can help be a part of the team. You don't feel a sense of community where you are? You can be a part of our community.
There you go.
That's right.
In the Valley.
Right, in the Valley. Yeah. Everybody loves the NoHo Arts District.
If you don't want to do porn,
right.
We got another community, much safer.
Much safer.
And no condom laws.
Nope. No, not at all. Unlike
that other industry.
Unlike that other industry.
Unlike the Eclectic Theater Company.
Right. But once again, rather than tell the people to have to go all the way to Indiegogo.com and then do a search for Eclect-a-Fest, because once again, it makes it real difficult. I did not design that, by the way. I kind of stepped aboard and said, guys, let me help you out with this. So this is my way of trying to help them out. Because, sometimes you need a plan from the very beginning of what's nice and easy to find. You don't want to make it difficult for people to give you money, which is why you are going to list a link, correct?
Correct.
On the Movie Guys page.
With this podcast, if you're listening to it and you've listened, say, on iTunes or if you listened on SoundCloud, I'll put the link in there, too, if best I can. But if somehow you didn't get a link because you went through your phone or something to listen to it, go to themovieguys.net, and the link for this podcast will tell you all about how to get involved in the Indiegogo campaign for one of our good movie guys. This guy went to Phoenix with us.
Yeah.
And he's been writing indie reports for themovieguys.net for a long damn time.
Yeah.
What's some of the best stuff you've reviewed indie film-wise?
The best film that I've... one comes up again and again, and I talk about it whenever I'm talking with indie filmmakers, whether it's on camera or on radio or whatever. One of the best documentaries I've ever seen is Official Rejection. It is just... It's
great friend of the show and mayor of the Phoenix Film Festival, Paul Osborne.
I'll tell you what, it's because the reason why it's so good, one, it is a fantastic documentary. Two, as an indie filmmaker, it is absolutely eye-opening for anyone who's ever submitted to an independent film festival. It's something you have to see.
And it's got cojones.
And it does have cojones because they call out people. They flat out call people out and say, you are doing things wrong and you're an elitist group and that is not what your festival... Let people know. Don't just take $20 from Joe Schmo over here who could be donating it to Eclect-a-Fest.
So eat that shit. Now, will you take official rejection for your festival?
Exactly.
Yeah, a tough road to hoe there. But.
And then I just saw another fantastic one, and I'll have a review coming out. By the time this airs, it may be already out, which is The Big Ask, which I really loved.
With new friends of the show, David Krumholtz and Tom Beatty were on last week.
Dynamic.
Probably Thomas. He's a director. I don't want to call him Tom. Directors,
Thomas. Yeah. Directors also get persnickety. They don't want their names to be short and like
Dave Dave could be Dave Krumholtz, you know,
Right.
he's the actor.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go David.
Right.
But you probably go Thomas. maybe.
Right, yeah. With Steven Spielberg, you don't say, hey, Steve. You
Steve.
still call him Steven if he
Right.
wants you to call him, you know?
And this is a great film, which is good to hear because we had the
Fantastic.
guys on, we talked all about the movie, and I hadn't had the chance to see it yet. I wish I saw it in Phoenix, but again, you can only see so much when you're running around introducing films.
I would have loved it if I could have seen it before you guys talked to it, because then I could have come on and just gushed all over them. Because seriously, I love everybody that's in the film, and I love the film itself. It's really very well made. And then also I have production questions about them because they got all these great stars to be in it. They got all TV people to be in it, and they're people that you know and recognize, and they're all wonderful.
Jason Ritter,
Jason
Gillian
Ritter.
Jacobs, which
Oh,
I learned.
oh
I
my
thought
gosh.
It was Jillian.
Oh, I
got
thought
that
it was
wrong.
Gillian, too. It's
Hey,
Gillian.
See, the movie guys, we're not just here for entertainment, clearly. We're also here to inform.
On occasion.
Yeah.
On occasion. Oh, she is. Could she be any more adorable in anything that she does? The answer is no. No. And especially in this film. She's like Community, you know, she gets to play this character, but Community has its own style and is kind of out there, and they are larger than life. And in this, she gets to play a more subtle version of that that's a little more well-rounded. And I could just gush all over her. She's so fantastic.
Well, hey now.
Yeah. Well, gush all over her with
Of course.
compliments.
Right, well, naturally.
Right.
All right, well, let's, because Justin here is our indie reviewer for themovieguys.net, well, we have him here. You know, summertime isn't excluded from indie filmmaking, even though you got your Godzillas and your X-Men and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I want to do with Justin another exciting edition of something we do here all the time. We're going to break out the old mailbag and whip up another exciting edition of Indie Roundup. It's time for another Indie Roundup. Let's break out the old mailbag and see what's come down the pike here. Woohoo! All right, folks, let's see here. Now, howdy, y'all. I don't want to get your knickers in a twist. There's a whole saloon full of movies of what making their way to cinemas that the folks out in our remote neck of the woods might not see till they shows up on Blu-ray.
Honkin' honkers.
But we'll tell you about them so as you can get excited when they do. Y'all big city folk will have the privilege of seeing these here films sooner than later. Here we go! Woo! Yeah! Oh, my goodness. And there, yeah.
Get along, little doggy.
All right, now, first to come in your way from Hollywood land is a pellicula called Chef. One of these independent movies what has a bunch of no-name actors nobody's ever heard of before, like Jon Favreau, Scarlett Johansson, Dustin Hoffman, and Robert Downey Jr. And right there, that's what you call sarcasm, a very popular form of tickling the funny bone that independent movies like to use wherein you say one thing but mean another. Just like when the judge asks you if you knew she was underage before you took her across state lines. Yeah, boy, howdy. Now, let's see. Best guess we can tell, Chef is about a fat guy who likes to cook, so that right there makes it real.
In the Old West, we'd have called him Cookie.
Now, this here rotund feller gets fired from making fancy food for uppity types that don't like eating gluten or having flavor in their food. So he gets the wise idea to fry up a whole heap of eats on the open road by getting himself a mobile kitchen on wheels, what can serve food to drunkards and homeless folks right out in the street. But this little doggy can't ride all by his lonesome, no sirree Bob. He teams up with his ex-wife and little buddy for a three-way orgy of the palate.
Whoops!
Together they roam the prairie dishing out eats to stranger and kinfolk alike, all the while learning a little bit about themselves. And heart disease! Yee-haw! Yee-haw! Yee-hoo! Yeah, all right.
Well, not for nothing, but there's another movie that's opening in your more urban settings this very weekend called Filth.
Filth!
It stars that gentleman who plays a young Captain Picard in the X-Men movies.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to alarm you theater-going folk, but he talks a little funny. In fact, everyone in this movie is talking with a thick, crazy dialect that's hard to understand unless you're all real paying attention.
That's hard to do.
These fencers, these foreigners, are doing enough of losing the gins to make the Injuns jealous. And what's more apt to shove a weasel down your drawers and make you holler for milk is that this here gent's a man of the law. What? Can you believe it? While he's dirtier than a sow gardening in a mud hole. And this whole time he's trying to fend off her buddies of this whore trying to wedge themselves into his action.
What the?
They're all more corrupt than the Earl of Bruce.
The Earl of Bruce?
The Earl of Blues. Or the Earl of Bruce. Because that's who they all sound like.
Oh.
Everyone in this movie should be yelling, freedom! From that movie, you know, that we saw on DVD.
Oh, Amistad?
No, Braveheart.
Oh.
Which begs the question, why doesn't a movie called Filth star Mel Gibson?
That's a good question. Well, that there's your indie roundup, everybody. And don't worry, Justin Bowler's reviews are much more intelligent.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, at least they make
That's a
a
good
little more
question.
sense. They
Yeah,
make a
that's
little
true.
more sense than a cold
You
read.
don't need a dumb dialect to read them. But hey, folks, that's been your indie roundup, and good hearing from Justin. He'll be back next week to help co-host with our new guest. We have next week. But now let's get back to the Movie Guys Showcast proper.
The theme from Indie Roundup.
Well, come on down. We got TVs. We got VCRs. We got sound systems. We got a whole hell of a bunch of deals. You're going to want to get down here.
And that wraps into the Movie Showcast, everybody. Follow us on Twitter at The Movie Guys, on Facebook.com/The Movie Guys, as well as on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Vine, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that shit. Thanks to Tony Sam, Ron Babcock. Now, tomorrow night, Thursday night, I should say, the day this probably opens, is your show. But do you do this regularly, right?
It's once a month.
Okay,
cool.
Good. So you can always catch that at the Nerd Melt Showroom. And thanks to Jamie Clark Yelvington for watching the board, providing stats and corrections, because we screw up a lot. And
Say hi.
Steve Schultz for his writing contributions to the show every week. And remember, you can always find everything we're up to at themovieguys.net. We'll be back next week with a new month full of summer movies, starting with Edge of Tomorrow.
Yay!
Lee's
Tom
boyfriend
Cruise.
and Ron's boyfriend, Tom Cruise.
Boner time.
And special guest John DiDomenico. We'll see you then.
Hey, let's do the radio version of when you go to music. Like, we all pretend like we're getting into a conversation like they do on talk shows, but they, like, fade out the sound. But
So how's that happen
So
when
just do the exit
Okay,
again.
guys, we'll see you next week.
Oh my God!
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
So
I'm gonna fucking kill somebody.
I
tonight.
can't wait to
I
go home
swear to
and
God, I
masturbate.
am. I swear to
Donald
God.
Sterling was
I've
right.
been trying to
I'm
touch my
kidding.
penis
Or
for like
am
the
I?
last-
You don't
No,
know.
the last
Tell you what,
2 hour, I wanted to
all
just
the
scratch
time
my balls.
is that.
Thanks. Are you talking about scratching balls?
Yeah.
Can I get it on that? Okay, good.
You guys are hilarious.